What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. As you guys can tell, this video is extremely long. Basically, the most viewed video on the channel now is Karen Saga, where I put all of the Karen videos in order in one massive video, and you guys loved it, and all the comments are like, oh, you should do more super long stories. So I figured I would see if you guys wanted it. I took all of the Karen videos that I've made in the last year that are over a year old, not the recent ones, but older ones, you know, that not as many people have seen. I put them together that way you guys could maybe enjoy them, you know, if you like that stuff. If not, I guess that's totally up to you. But regardless, that's what it is today, is just a stroll down memory lane for all you savages. Tomorrow, brand new story time, you guys know the drill. But yeah, I figured why not upload all the Karen videos in one compilation since you guys enjoyed the first one so much. So enjoy.
It's not good. Nice rack in her ass Brazilian. Just turned 21, but my bank's a million. Swear I'm a little drunk, but it's a hell of...
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope everybody's having an absolutely lovely day. I know I am. If you guys could press the like button, I would really appreciate it, because I'm about to relive some old school trauma from back when I had a normal job, alright? Today, my job's my dream job. I make YouTube videos on the internet, but before this, you know, I worked in a grocery store, and there's a video out here all about how it was a terrible job. I genuinely hated working here. But you guys said you wanted to hear more stories about terrible customers, so that's what I have to do. I have to deliver for you guys, because trust me, you guys are the beautiful people that deserve the love. But press like, otherwise I will actually hit you with clickbait. Now, when I worked at this grocery store, I was a bagger, you know, which meant I had to deal with basically every customer that would go through the place at one point or another. Whether it was helping them find something, whether it was bagging their groceries, I interacted with a majority of people, which of course means that you run into some pretty weird people, because everybody buys food, you know, whether they're crazy, whether they're not, everybody goes to the grocery store at one point or another. It's just inevitable. But the people that I would deal with on a regular basis could be pretty insane. For example, we had this guy named Derek, who was a regular. He would come in every week, right? And Derek was a believer that cell phone towers were put out there to dumb down the population. No, that cell phone towers were mind control devices, and that by wearing tinfoil, you could just evade it and avoid getting dumbed down. Because, you know, walking around with tinfoil strapped on the top of your noggin screaming about how the government's going to take over your brain definitely does not make you seem dumb at all. You seem super educated. But that's the type of caliber of customers that I would work with on a regular basis, alright? And Derek was a nice guy. He was always really chill. He just definitely wanted me to wear tinfoil so that way my brain wouldn't get scrambled when the government turned on their mind control devices, you know? Him and my uncle would probably be really good friends now that I'm thinking about it, because my uncle's absolutely nuts too. But regardless, that's the type of people that I would be dealing with on a regular basis. And you know, we had this other regular, and her name was Betty. I'm not changing her name because she's such a witch, she's such an evil person, that her name deserves to be out there. Betty, you were 80 years old when I worked there. You're probably like 97 now, alright? You're probably old. You probably, you know, danced with FDR during the Great Depression, alright? You were an old hag. And Betty, I don't know what happened to her. I don't know if every time the sun shined when she was little, her dad kicked her in the shins. I'm not really sure. But Betty was the most miserable person I ever interacted with in my entire life. She would come in once a week, and she would walk through the door, and it got to the point where everybody in the store who worked there had a signal for when Betty walked in, alright? It would start at the front door, she'd walk into the produce section, the produce guys would tell the butchers would tell the seafood people, they would tell whichever bagger was sweeping the floor, he would come up to the front and tell everyone, Betty's coming. And no one ever wanted to deal with Betty. Usually with customers, we'd be like, hey, our line's shorter over here, do you want to come with us? But whatever line Betty picked, no, Betty was staying there, because no one wanted to deal with Betty. And I'm sure you're thinking, Ryan, what could be so bad about an old lady? Well, just imagine the worst parts of, you know, racism and just general meanness being combined into one shrewd old lady. And she definitely looked like the girl that was buying chocolate from SpongeBob, like, chocolate. Like, she was an old woman, and she was just mean. You couldn't do anything right for her. If you tried to help her, she was independent and didn't need your help. But if you didn't help her, then we were all jerks who needed to learn chivalry. You just couldn't win with Betty, alright? So, of course, in these scenarios, Betty would just be shrewd and rude to everyone. And for some reason, she hated everyone else more than me. Like, I don't know if it's just because a tall, handsome white boy was just her type, because, like I said, she was a little bit racist. But she would always pick the line I was on. And no one would ever complain or like try to switch with me because she was just rude. We had this one girl, and her name was Alyssa, and she was the nicest girl. Like, Alyssa was a sweetheart. She would bag groceries with the care as if she was always packing eggs. She was just nice to everybody, always had a smile on her face. Everyone loved her. Like 9 times out of 10, our regular customers picked her because she was just such a sweetheart, right? Not because we were bad, but just she was so sweet. And one time, she was bagging groceries for Betty, and Betty said, and I quote, "Your hair looks like it belongs on the top of a Raggedy Ann doll. You haven't washed it in weeks. You know white girls don't look good with dreadlocks, sweetie." And Alyssa didn't know what to say and just said, "Oh, I'm so sorry, ma'am." And Betty said, "No, it's all right. You're just kind of disgusting. Please don't touch my bags." And Alyssa, which is, by the way, the sweetest girl to ever work in this store, just the cutest little thing ever, started crying and ended up having to go home early because she was so upset by the words that Betty said to her, all right? And you already know from my last story, our managers were incompetent, so they would never tell Betty to eat it, you know, as most of us wanted to. No. We had to serve Betty, kiss Betty's feet, and she would just make baggers cry, and for some reason, she always picked my line. So this day, I was already in a bad mood because, I don't know, I just don't want to deal with Betty. Betty's annoying, Betty frustrates me, and I don't deal good with annoying people. That's why, like, my other channel is based around yelling at annoying people. But regardless, Betty came into my line and immediately starts being mean to the cashiers, which just makes me mad, man. They're just trying to do their job. Like, leave them alone. They're trying their best. They don't want to be here any more than you do, Betty, all right? So she starts talking basically about how this cashier has no life and how she should have gone to college and how her kids are never going to have a good life because she's a failure of a mother working a dead-end job. So that's how Betty opens this conversation because Betty is a shrill old woman who is nothing but mean. And I'm just not having it today. And I was a pretty good worker at this place. It was going to be hard for me to get fired, especially because the way baggers would quit at this store, like when somebody had experience, they would do anything to hold on to them. And of course, this happened to be my favorite cashier, and Betty was just being a shrill old bitch. So I decided that I had had enough of Betty, all right? If my managers weren't going to do anything, she made my coworkers cry. She made my friends cry. She was rude to everyone for no reason. And you know what? I was just done. I wasn't going to have it. So I looked at Betty and I said, "You know, Betty, it sure would be a shame if you slipped and fell. I'm sure a bunch of people would miss you." "Oh, wait, probably not." And Betty said, "What did you just say, young man?" So I just repeated it. I said, "If you slipped and fell and died, it would suck, except everyone would be happy." And she goes, "Excuse me? I know you did not say those words, young man." And I was like, "Well, I did, and I'm not sorry about it." And she goes, "Go get your manager." And you know, a smile goes on my face because, like I've said in previous stories about this store, we had one good manager. His name was Julian. If you're watching this, Julian, 10 out of 10, great guy, would work for you and again in a heartbeat. And I basically let him know that I said dumb things, and if I needed to get in trouble, then I needed to get in trouble, but I'd stand by my words. And he comes out and he knows it's Betty, and she just starts going off about how I'm the rudest employee she's ever dealt with in this store, yada, 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 basically saying a bunch about how I need to be fired on the spot. So Julian looks at me, and he winks at me, and he goes, "You're fired." And I'm like, "Oh, no, please, I need this job. It's all I have left." And he's like, "Yeah, you're fired." And Betty's like, "See what you get for being rude to me?" And Julian's like, "Turn in your stuff and get out of here. I better not see you again." And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And Betty, of course, is, you know, grinning in the corner because she thinks she just got me fired from this job. So whatever, I take off my stuff, I go to my car, I get in my car, and I get a text from Julian because him and I were friends, we play Xbox together and stuff, and he goes, "Yeah, so I'll see you tomorrow. I know you probably have stuff to do, so you just take the rest of the day off, no big deal. I won't write anything down, but if Betty comes back, you need a cover story." And so I texted him and go, "Can I pretend that I have a twin who works here?" And he goes, "Yes, that's perfect. I don't mind. Do what you got to do." So Betty thinks she's gotten me fired at this point, and I'm sure she's like, "I run the store. I get people fired. Their workers are working for me." So the next time that Betty comes in, she, of course, starts looking for what line she wants to be in and sees me, and her eyes light up. She is pissed. She is like, "How is this kid still working here?" So she comes up to me and is like, "I thought they fired you, blah, 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 blah." And I'm like, "Oh, no, ma'am, you're thinking of my twin brother. He used to work here." And she's like, "Well, your brother is a terrible kid, and I'm so glad he lost his job, blah, 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 blah." Which, first of all, you're dumb if you think I have a twin that looks exactly like me. Second of all, are you kidding me? Like, I'm this guy's twin brother, and you're gonna flex to me that you got him fired? And she basically says, you know, "Don't mess with me, or I'll get you fired too. Whatever, Betty, you shrewd old bitch. No one liked you anyways, man. I genuinely hope that you slipped and fell on a pile of wet popsicles." But regardless, I check out Betty. I'm bagging her groceries, and I wasn't mean to her at this time. I kept my mouth shut. I didn't ruin her groceries on purpose. But Betty was just a shrewd old woman, and every time she walked in, she would stop and talk to me and basically flex the fact that she got my twin fired, and how my brother was never going to go anywhere in life, and how I was a good young man, not like my brother. And she doesn't know how my parents could have had one great kid and one kid who was so horrible. And, she just never figured out that I was the same person until a couple weeks before I quit. I walked up to Betty, and I basically told her that I didn't have a twin, it was me all along, and that there was nothing she could do to get me fired because I had already put in my 2 weeks. And she did not like that. She was very upset about the fact that she had been deceived, tried to get me fired, and my manager at that point was like, "He already put in his 2 weeks, so nothing much that I can do about it." But Betty, you're a dumb hoe. For 6 months, I convinced you I had a twin brother that didn't exist, and you're a shrewd old woman who made people cry all the time and just said genuinely horrible things to everybody. And I don't feel bad about messing with you. I know the elderly are usually off limits. I don't mess with them normally, but if you're just a terrible person, you kind of deserve to get messed with, at least a little bit, all right? I didn't, steal her purse or anything. That would have been funny. It wouldn't have been funny. Okay, guys, that was a joke. That was a joke. Just so YouTube, if you're listening and you're going to demonetize this video, that was a joke. But yeah, that's the story of Betty, the worst customer I've ever dealt with in my entire life. On that note, guys, that's gonna do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, I would really appreciate you pressing the like button, commenting down below. Thank you guys so much for all the support recently. This channel is growing like crazy. I genuinely do not know what to say other than thank you. The fact that this channel is really getting big too just makes me happy. And for everybody out there that says that I'm not an entertaining YouTuber and I don't deserve this, 2 words. Screw off, because I've done it twice now, man. I got one channel to 1 million subs. This one's well on its way. And thank you guys for the support. Don't get anyone pregnant, and if you do, make sure they're hot. I'm out. Peace. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. As you can tell by the gameplay, today we're going to be doing a throwback, a little bit of a glimpse into the past. That 1930s animation on Cuphead's looking real clean today, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get into today's story, though, I want you guys to press the like button, smash it, destroy it like an Xbox after you get killed in Fortnite by a kid named Billy Job Joe, 12-year-old Fortnite pro, and he does the take the L dance on you. I know that rage can be seething, so press the like button, and without further ado, let's get into it. I chose today's gameplay because it reminds me of old school Mickey Mouse cartoons, which is going to fit the narrative of this story pretty well. Because I'm going to be telling you guys a story of a time I saw a bunch of soccer moms fighting at Disneyland. It's not an, normal experience to witness a fight in Disneyland, because after it all, it is the happiest place on the planet, but something about it just got these soccer moms a little too riled up, and they ended up throwing fisticuffs in the Indiana Jones ride. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Also, follow me on Instagram at @scrubby_YT if you don't already, otherwise you will actually get chlamydia, and let's do it. Now, at Disneyland, it's supposed to be the happiest place on earth, it's supposed to be all smiles, all happiness, all the time, and that's not what I experienced constantly throughout my vacation. Don't get me wrong, I had a lovely time bonding with my family, all that good stuff you're supposed to do at Disneyland, but the coolest part of the trip came while I was waiting in line for Indiana Jones. I had gone to Disneyland with my family and a friend of ours, just because, family friends, our families went together, and we had spent all day meandering around the park with our little siblings, doing all the rides that they could go on, but towards the end of the day, me and my friends wanted to ride rides that were more for teenage kids, stuff that had some excitement, stuff that had some cojones, stuff that made you go, woo, that was exciting. I guess that's how you would describe rides. So we decided that we were going to ride the Indiana Jones ride because we had heard that it's super exciting and that's a great time, and that overall the best experience you could have at a Disney park is on Indiana Jones. So me and my friend, we were both about 13 at the time, meander on over to the Indiana Jones line and just start waiting. And it's a really long line. I think it was 45 minutes, whatever. It was a pretty long wait. And as we're sitting there, these 2 kids on kind of opposite sides, when you're doing the zigzags through the lines or the side-by-sides, we're not getting along. I don't know if it was over a Hot Wheels toy or whatever, but they were just bickering and sticking their tongues out at each other and all that stuff. And we thought it was pretty entertaining, so we were just keeping an eye on it because little kids getting mad at each other in a Disneyland line is pretty funny. So we think they're just going to keep sticking their tongues out at each other and being a little silly. And like I said, we're just watching it go down. And that's when, ladies and gentlemen, the WWE SmackDown move of the century comes out. One of the kids flicks the other kid on the nose, which is just a weird opening move. If you're going to start a fight, you got to hit strong, hit fast. You want to punch them in the gullet, maybe, skin them like a turkey, wear their face, like Dwight does in that one episode of The Office. You got to make a strong statement, to let people know you're not playing games. But this kid went for a flick on the nose, which is not a good opening move. And the other kid just punched him back. So now they're crying and both swinging at each other the way little kids do, where they're just flapping their arms like the bird I'm fighting right now. And me and my friends are just laughing hysterically at this. So the moms like break their kids apart, right? Which is the right thing to do. Little kids throwing fisticuffs in a Disneyland line probably should be broken up, as entertaining as it was. And then we think, okay, that's it. They're going to separate, someone's going to leave the line, someone's not. That's how the situation's going to work. But then the moms start arguing, and the first one goes, oh my God, control your kid. I can't believe he attacked my son. And she's like, well, your son's been antagonizing my son the entire time we've been in this line. And maybe that's why your kid, is a misbehaving little brat, blah, 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 blah. Which is just weird to call someone a misbehaving brat if you don't know them at all. And both your kids were in the wrong here, ladies. But I'm not going to get in the middle of two soccer moms arguing, all right? There's a very small list of things that I'm afraid of. It's ghosts, Post Malone's breath in the morning. I feel like after he brushes his teeth, it's probably pretty good, but in the morning, it's probably pretty stinky. And soccer moms fighting, because they don't play games. They have SUVs. They will run you down in the parking lot of the soccer game. You don't want to risk it. You don't want to get hit by a car driven by Deborah, the soccer mom. So they're going back and forth, and then one mom looks at the other mom and goes, well, when your kid's in prison, you can look back at this and remember how terrible of a mother you were in Disneyland as to why he ended up the way he did. And that really sets the other mom off, and she goes, what did you just say, bitch? And starts getting in the other mom's face. So now the husbands are trying to break it apart, and what's funny is these two alpha moms, soccer moms, are screaming at each other and fighting, and both of their husbands just have the look on their face oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Probably because they all just spent $400 to get into Disneyland for the day, and now they're about to get kicked out because both of their moms just couldn't admit that maybe both of your kids were in the wrong. So the dads are looking annoyed and just trying to break them up, and then she goes, my kid's not going to end up in prison, but your kid looks a little bit like a rapist. And I'm like, oh my God, you just called a child this. What do you think? Why would you say that? Why would you ever say those words and think that it's a good idea? So the other mom responds to this by swinging on the first mom, right? So now they're swinging on each other. Both the husbands are trying to hold them apart, and they're just pulling on each other's hair. There's literally chunks of hair pulling out. Somebody got a good handle on it, because most of the time when you pull someone's hair, you don't get a fist of it like you're trying to make a wig, all right? It's just a small amount of hair comes out with the hand. That's not what happened here. They're fighting each other, viciously beating each other, some would say. Just absolutely going to town. There's hair flying everywhere. There's broken nails on the ground. There's screaming. The kids are crying. It looks like a war zone in the Indiana Jones line, all right? Keep in mind, the Indiana Jones line is based around an adventure movie, and we're having an adventure, I mean, maybe it was all part of the plan to make a super immersive experience, because I'm feeling immersed. I'm feeling like Indiana Jones in the middle of fighting whoever the bad guy was in his latest movie, because that's just the adventure that we're seeing right now. So the moms are fighting, doing their thing, and then Disney security just starts coming up the line. Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. I love how nice they had to be. Security in Disneyland can't be move out of the way, you heathens. They have to be oh, excuse me, I have to go stop two soccer moms from beating each other like a bunch of wild animals. The poor security guards that had to walk upon the scene and try to break it up. So now they're tangled together. I'm pretty sure their hair is tied together. It looks like a rat that got in a fight and tangled its tail with the other rat. And the guards are like, oh, please break it up, break it up. So the guards break up the fight, and they're like, what happened? And both the moms are just, well, her son, blah, 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 their son, blah, 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 it's not my fault, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, all right, well, both of you are gonna leave the park. And they're like, no way, I'm not giving up my Disney vacation. And they're both arguing with the security guards now. And the strange part is, they're tag teaming the security guards. These two women that were just beating each other in the Indiana Jones line are now both being excuse me, I'm not leaving. This is ridiculous. We can agree to be adults here. And I'm like, yeah, we can agree to be adults here. Maybe that's the words you could say before you decided to fight someone in the line for Indiana Jones. I don't really know that we can all be adults here excuse works after you fight someone in a theme park line because their kid looked at your kid funny and flicked him on the nose. Maybe not the best approach to talk about maturity after this situation, but whatever, lady, whatever floats your boat. I'm sure your Chevy Tahoe's looking real good in the parking lot right now. And the husbands during this all are just looking embarrassed, because it's embarrassing. If my wife was fighting somebody in line at Disneyland, I would be super embarrassed too. The kids are crying. It's just a mess. And the security guards are like, no, both of you guys are leaving. That's not how this works. We can't let you stay in the park after this. So about 15 minutes after the start of the fight, they are escorted out of the Indiana Jones line by security. Those brave men in blue really doing their job, shaping up, trying to keep Disneyland a safe experience for the rest of us. And I really thank you, after all the hard work you guys do, keeping soccer moms on the fritz, making sure that scooter parking and strollers are parked in the proper places. You guys really stepped up when it was on the line and there was parents fighting in the line for Indiana Jones, so thank you. Benefit of all this, not only did I get to see soccer moms fighting in Disneyland, which is arguably the best part of the the ride experience. I enjoyed Indiana Jones way more after getting my adrenaline going by watching Deborah and Sarah just go to town on each other. I also got a fast pass because in Disneyland, the guest experience is key. So after the soccer moms fought, they came back like 20 minutes later with this whole Disney crew and were basically apologizing to everybody and giving us fast passes because we just couldn't have enjoyed the experience. And I acted pretty shaken up, like I had never seen a fight before, because I was trying to milk it. All right, I wanted fast passes. I'm not going to pretend that everything's cool because I want fast passes. It's got nothing to do with the fight. I enjoyed the fight. It was like Floyd Mayweather versus Deborah Singer, the soccer mom, but I still wanted to get something out of it, and I did. I got my fast passes, and then we went and rode Splash Mountain, which was a great experience. 12 out of 10 would recommend. So basically what I'm saying is, if the lines are ever really long at Disneyland, just get two kids to fight so their moms fight each other, and then you'll get a fast pass. That's the rules and regulations, ladies and gentlemen. Don't sweat it. Don't worry about it. Don't even worry your pretty little noggin about the ethics of it, because you're in the happiest place on earth. There are no rules. That's why it's the happiest place on earth, is that whatever you say goes. So getting soccer moms to fight to get a free fast pass is totally morally acceptable as long as you're in Disneyland. That's what I've learned from the situation. And yeah. Real talk, I do wonder how those kids spent the rest of their lives. Like, are they banned from Disneyland forever? Do they have to have this awkward talk with their mom every time they want to go somewhere with their friends? Like, okay, you can't fight anyone. Like, I don't care what happens. You're not allowed to fight my friend's parents just because their kid flicks me on the nose. All right, Mom? On that note, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to press the like button. Let me know in the comments section down below what your favorite part of the video is. And if you're going to try to use this nifty little trick to get a fast pass next time you're at Disney, I really appreciate all the support recently. You've been growing really quick. We probably should be at 200K-ish by the end of the month, and that's absolutely incredible, so thank you guys so much for that. Be sure to press the like button, comment down below, follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you don't already, and hopefully you don't get anyone pregnant, but if you do, make sure they're hot. I don't make the rules, I just follow them. Peace out, guys. I love you all.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you're all having an absolutely incredible day. I know I am. Go ahead and slap that like button upside the head like something with a helmet on, because I really enjoy likes, guys. And, the likes have been dipping a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, they've been going down a small amount, and that makes me very big sad. Big sad, sad boy, sad hours. I'm gonna go listen to every Little Peep album back to back to back unless you guys press that like button right now. No joke, no scam. As you guys can tell from the title, today we're gonna be telling the story of a time this lady threw a grapefruit at the manager at the grocery store I worked at. I've already told a couple stories about working at this grocery store. It was my first job and one of my only real jobs I've ever had, but I've got some stories from it. I'm thinking about starting to tell stories about my other first job that I had, which is I worked at a movie theater for a while, and trust me, that was somehow crazier than working at a grocery store. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. We got some grapefruits to throw. So working at this grocery store was always an adventure, mainly because our clientele was a lot of rich soccer moms that just had nothing better to do all day than come cause havoc at a grocery store because, I don't know, their husbands are like cheating on them or whatever. And this was during the summer, so I could work during the day, and that's when you would see the most of it. Because after work hours, normal people would come in, people who have jobs, people that, don't have time to fight with people in a grocery stores who would come shop there. But during the day, people had way too much time on their hands, would just go out of their way to make sure that we had the least enjoyable experience working there possible. Like, if a soccer mom could cause a problem, she was going to cause the problem. And this day was no exception, and it started off as a really good day, okay? I got some sushi, I was having a good day. I go into work expecting to just work a 4-hour shift and go home. It was just a short one. I was just filling in for somebody. And I was actually filling in the produce department, which I thought was pretty fun. And produce, for those of you guys who don't know, is like the vegetables, the fruits, the whole fresh food section. And basically my job was to clean and oil up all of the stands with the fruit on them. And so, I'm doing my thing, oiling up the fruit. I don't really have to interact with customers very much. I'm just doing my thing, living lavish, doing what I have to do to survive out here on the rough streets of working in a grocery store. And like I said, I'm not in my usual department, so I don't know it very well. And some soccer mom comes up to me all uppity and says, "I'm in a hurry. I need you to help me find this now." And I'm like, okay, well, I don't work in this department normally, so let me go find somebody that can actually help you. And she's like, no, you work in this department. I'm like, well, I don't. And she's like, yes, you do. And I'm like, all right, lady, enlighten me, please, please. The 12 times you've been in the store, you've never seen me here. How in the world would you know I work in this department, is what I thought. But I was like, no, I really don't. Let me go find someone. So I go and find the manager of the produce department. And for this story, his name is going to be Brian. And Brian was a pretty chill dude. Me and Brian got along pretty well. We would high five on the daily. That's right, high fives were being thrown. You know it's a serious broship if you are throwing high fives in each other's general direction. Few things strengthen a male bond like a high five. I wish my father would have high fived me more. And if my uncle would have high fived me instead of what else he did on Thanksgiving, I would have had a much simpler life. But no, anyways, I go and get Brian and basically tell him that some lady who seems very uppity and not fun to deal with is looking for something and is in a huge hurry. And he rolls his eyes and goes out there, and she starts telling him about how she needs to make a grapefruit something blah 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 salad, and that she needs only the freshest grapefruits. And he's like, all right, well, our grapefruits are over there. And I think that's gonna be the end of it, because, you know, you would think the lady would be like, I need grapefruits, and then she'd get pointed to the grapefruits and she'd go about her merry way. But no, 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 no. Soccer mom lady was not gonna stop there. But no, I'm gonna name this girl Rebecca, because I feel like that's a very grapefruit angry name. And Rebecca was not just happy with us showing her where the grapefruits are. She proceeds to look at Brian and says, you're gonna help me pick the freshest grapefruit. And he goes, look, lady, I kind of work in a grocery store. I am by no means a grapefruit expert, okay? I don't eat grapefruit. I'm not a fan of grapefruit. I'm gonna be useless on this adventure. And she starts ranting about how it's ridiculous and how dare our grocery store not have produce experts working in the produce section. Because yeah, lady, we're definitely getting paid enough to be experts on fruit while we're working in a grocery store. Also, most people who need to buy a fruit know what fruit they want and like what they want in it, okay? I can tell you if a grapefruit's ripe, but I can't tell you what the freshest, most prime Italian grapefruit would be, because I don't know. And I don't know how you want me to know, because I have no idea. So she starts just yelling at Brian about how he's useless and good for nothing, and no wonder how the only job he could have is in a grocery store, because with his customer service, she's surprised he hasn't been fired already, and is just going off. And keep in mind, Brian is like one of the nicest people in the store. Everybody loves Brian. And I'm kind of standing there slack-jawed. And then she starts yelling at me about how I'm useless and all this stuff. And I'm like, lady, I'm 16 years old. How are you gonna yell at a 16-year-old for being useless when your dumbass couldn't even find a grapefruit? It's a giant orange, okay? It's a big orange. Just look for the big orange and then go over to it, pick it up. Boom, you found a grapefruit. But no, 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 you couldn't find a grapefruit, and you're gonna call me stupid? I don't think so. And at this point, Brian's getting fed up because obviously this lady is out of control. And thankfully, Brian is in charge of produce. He doesn't answer to my stupid managers that caved to all the guests other times, because that's the front of the store where like the baggers are. So Brian can do whatever he wants, and she really can't do anything unless she goes to corporate. So he says, look, you're not gonna belittle me because I don't want to help you find a grapefruit. You're gonna either get out of the store or buy a grapefruit and move on. And she starts screaming about how her husband owns the store, which we know is a lie, and is talking about how we're gonna lose our jobs by the end of the day and we should kiss our jobs goodbye, and how dare he accuse her of getting her own grapefruit. And I'm like, lady, do you usually have people do your grocery shopping for you? Is it a surprise that we're telling you to pick your own grapefruit? Like, she's shocked that we're just not gonna do all of her grocery shopping for her. I don't know who this lady is, but I genuinely hope that she stubs her toe every day for the rest of her life. That's how terrible she was. Anyways, so Brian basically says, okay, you're not gonna buy it, then you need to get out of the store. And she's like, you can't kick me out. And he's like, I can kick it out. And so she's screaming, throwing a fit about how he can't kick her out and all this stuff. So Brian just does the most logical thing and just walks away. Just walks away from her, steps away, and just starts walking away, which makes her mad because she realizes that she's not getting attention anymore. No one's paying attention to her. Nobody cares that she's throwing a temper tantrum. She no longer has the attention of everybody. Everybody's staring at her, but in like the embarrassing way. And Brian has just walked away. So I just go, oh, sorry. And I start walking away too. And I guess when both of us walked away and she had nobody to yell at anymore, or like yell at somebody to get a grapefruit for her, that pissed her off to a level only seen in Hiroshima and Nagasaki when a nuclear bomb went off. I guess she felt backstabbed, betrayed, flabbergasted, opened up and flapped with the wrath of Flappy Bird. I don't know, because what happens next is, to this day, one of the strangest things I've ever seen. She picks up a grapefruit, don't know if it was ripe or not because I'm not a grapefruit expert like my boy Brian, and proceeds to throw it full throttle, like a Major League Baseball pitcher at the back of Brian's head. And I don't know where this lady went to college. I don't know what sport she played, but it was probably softball, because it nails Brian in the back of the head. A whole grapefruit. And I hear the thud, and there's juices, and it popped. And Brian turns around and looks, and she just like, I don't know what she thought was going to happen, but she decides to just pretend she didn't throw it. Like magically, a grapefruit just goes flying, everybody sees it, and somehow we're just going to be like, nah, I mean, she's pretending like she didn't throw it, so I guess she didn't. I don't know what the plan was, but she's acting like she didn't throw it. And Brian looks at me, and I point at her, and the entire store is just kind of looking at her like, did you really just throw a grapefruit at the guy who works here? And the answer was yes. So Brian has grapefruit on the back of the head. He goes, we're calling security. You're going to have to wait here. Call the police, Ryan. She assaulted me. And at this point, she starts screaming about how it's not assault. It was just a dumb grapefruit. And I'm like, I don't know. You just kind of threw a grapefruit at him because you were mad he wouldn't do your grocery shopping for you. This is kind of how karma works. You kind of deserve to lose the ability to, I don't know, leave the store automatically. So regardless, Brian calls the police and basically tells them that he's been assaulted by a grapefruit. And the cop's like, what? And he's like, yeah, some crazy lady at the grocery store where I work at hit me in the back of the head with a grapefruit because I wouldn't do her grocery shopping for her. And the cops are like, okay, we'll send somebody over. And obviously we're not a priority. You know, cops in the major city where I live have more important priorities than a grapefruit attack. But regardless, about 20 minutes later, they pull up and they kind of get everybody's statements and what's going on. And at this point, they cuff her and Brian goes, I don't want to press charges. I just want to teach her a lesson. And that makes her mad. She's like, you'll be hearing from my husband. How dare you make a mockery of me in front of this grocery store, blah, 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 blah. My friends shop here. And he goes, yeah, your friends shop here and you're still that crazy. Like, you're never allowed back in. Gets the overall store owner involved to ban the girl from all locations of this franchise. So, I don't know where she does her grocery shopping now, but moral of the story is she threw a grapefruit at my manager because he wouldn't help her pick a spicy grapefruit to make her salad a little bit better. And that's just the type of clients we had to deal with on the regular. People that were willing to just throw grapefruits at people because they just didn't like them. I'm not really sure what their game plan was. I'm not sure what the methodology was to really just get in there and make a difference in the grapefruit community. But that's exactly what she did, is get almost charged with assault. But yeah, on that note, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, I really would appreciate you pressing the like button and commenting down below. It just helps the video do better, helps me get more views, which in turn makes me more motivated to make more videos. You guys know exactly how it is. We're coming in on almost 3 straight months of uploads, which has been a grind and a half, but I've really enjoyed every second of it. I just wanted to say thank you to all of you. This is my favorite channel to make videos on. I know you guys are like, oh, the Scrubby channel has more subs. That's true, but I have way more fun making videos on here. Yeah, follow me on Instagram at Scrubby_YT. Discord server as well is down below. And hopefully I'll see you guys soon with another video. Don't get anyone pregnant. And if you do, make sure they're incredibly hot and not willing to throw grapefruits at a guy who's just trying to do his job. And I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are all having an absolutely fantastic day. I know I am. If you are, be sure to press the like button. Otherwise, no joke, no scam. John Cena himself will break into a butterfly sanctuary, get a group of butterflies, and then come to your house and tie a butterfly to each part of your limbs. Enough butterflies where you can be lifted up by the butterflies, and then they will fly you to outer space and leave you on the moon while you're slowly suffocate. It's not going to be too fun, so I would press the like button. Anyways, you guys were asking me on Instagram to do a couple more skating stories. For those of you that don't know, I used to be a giant skater. Like back in the day, middle school, early high school, I would do nothing but skate every day. I'd get home from school at like 1, 2 p.m. and I would skate until I basically couldn't see my deck anymore. And like I was super duper into it. And because of that, I've definitely gotten myself into some pretty stupid scenarios. Because, you know, when you're 15 and you're a skater, you think you're kind of on top of the world and invincible. Like, I'm not gonna lie, alright, I love the skating community a ton. It absolutely changed my life for the better. But some skaters definitely have a way of getting themselves in trouble and then pretending to be the victim. Like, it's a pretty common thing. But this story is actually one of the crazier ones I have. It's about some lady that had some beef with us when we were skating and tried to steal our skateboards. Like, I don't really know who this lady thought she was. It wasn't a mall cop. It wasn't a police officer at all. It was just some random housewife who had way too much time on her hands, you know? An absolute Karen. And like, trust me, I get it. Your husband's cheating on you. You're bored. But maybe don't try to steal my skateboard next time. Like, big shout out to you for not trying to steal our stuff.
off. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video. So for those of you guys who don't really know what skaters do and you see them just kind of hanging out in a place, 9 times out of 10 they're probably pretty lit and don't really know what's going on. But like on the off chance it's some skaters that actually have a plan of what's going on, but for the most part they're looking for like a good stair set or a nice gap or like something fun to skate. And for the most part that's what me and my friends did. All right, we would just kind of roll around like the general area around by our high school and like the park and whatnot and just look for cool stuff to skate. And there was this pretty sweet 5 or 6 stair right in front of our high school that was pretty chill, you know, and it had a nice run up and a nice run off. So for the most part, most of the time, we would kind of end up back at our high school and just ride this 6 stair. Like, it was perfectly placed. It had a good run up. There was a little bit of downhill right before it, so you could get good speed. The rollaway was super flat. So we would just go and, like, skate this stair for hours and hours at a time. It was just kind of our hangout spot. And on the weekends, our high school would get used for recreational sports games. So whether that's baseball, football, soccer, whatever, like the fields and whatnot would be full of kids and parents trying to do their thing. However, usually by like later in the day, you know, 5, 6 p.m., the games were kind of run out and there would only be maybe 1 or 2 games of each sport going on. Like, it definitely wasn't as crowded as it was during the day. And so we would try to avoid this spot during the weekends, like during the day part, because we didn't really want to cause a disruption. Obviously, we know that when there's like 600 people at this field trying to get around, us using the stairs as a, you know, a skate park probably isn't the dopest thing ever. And we were trying to be considerate of everybody. So for the most part, we would only go around 5 or 6 p.m. when it would start to empty out, and we'd just go ride the stair set until it got too dark. Like, that was our average routine on the weekend. And at this point, we've done it for maybe 3 years now with no issue. Usually by the time we're rolling up, the people who usually have late games know that we're going to stay out of your way. We're not going to cause any problems. We're not going to swear at your kids or whatever. We're just going to ride our stair, mind our own business, and do our own thing. And for the most part, we usually don't have any issue whatsoever. But this was actually like one of the first weekends where seasons were going okay. So generally, for the most part, when a new season starts, it is a little awkward at first because some people don't know us. They don't know that like we're here every weekend, right when things start to slow down. But whatever, usually it's no big deal. They might give us a couple weird looks and that's the end of it. And I don't really know what league was going on, all right, but apparently it was the meeting of the soccer moms. Like, don't get me wrong, obviously soccer players have soccer moms, but there's a difference between a mom whose kid plays soccer and like a Karen soccer mom, all right? The mom whose kids just play soccer will walk up to you and be like, hey guys, you know, can you not skate on the stairs for a second? We have to like take this cooler down, whatever. Like, they'll be chill and you'll be chill back and you're like, all right, no problem. We'll take a break for a little bit. You guys do what you got to do. Let us know when we can skate. And they're like, all right, perfect. But for some reason, the moms that were out in full force this weekend were the type of moms that just have to complain about everything. Like, they'll make the girl behind the counter at GameStop start crying and then ask her the manager and say that crying is inappropriate and she needs to be fired on the spot. Like, those type of moms were for some reason out in full force. I don't know if the rich kids decided just to come to our side of town for some nice soccer game action or what. But the demographic of moms had definitely changed by a pretty massive margin. We could all feel it because the energy that Karens give off is crazy. Like, you can cut in the may I speak to the manager with a knife. It is just blatantly obvious that these are the type of soccer moms that you don't want to deal with. So we're just getting this stair set, and out of nowhere, we feel like this presence come up behind us, and sure enough, we turn around, and there's a Karen sitting there, like, hand on her hip, just watching us, right? So we keep going about our business, because she doesn't say anything at first. She's just standing there looking pissed off. Like, okay, lady, you can sit there and angrily look at us skate. Don't worry, it won't affect our performance. We'll be just fine. So we keep skating this stair set, no skin off our back, or so we think, right? And after about a minute of just watching us, she walks up to us and goes, do you guys have permits to be doing this here? Yes. This group of teenage kids went to the city and got permits to ride downstairs. No, we don't have a permit. So I'm like, no, we don't have a permit, right? And she's kind of standing off to the stairs a little bit. Like, she's not in the middle, but she's kind of in front of them. And I'm talking to her and I'm like, no, we don't have a permit. Like, we do this every weekend. It's no big deal. We don't want any trouble, you know, like, we don't want any problems. And she's like, well, if you don't have a permit, then I think it's best that you leave, you know? Like, I don't want to have to call the police on you. Then don't, you know? Like, call me crazy here. If you don't want to have to call the police on us, you can just not. We weren't bothering you. You walked up to us and were watching us for a minute. And as I'm kind of explaining to her that, like, she could just leave us alone, we don't want to cause any problems, like, just go away type of thing. One of my friends rolls up to the stairs and I think he, like, just ollied it. Like, it wasn't even anything crazy, but was near her. Probably passed within 3 feet of her. So like close, but not super close, all right? And when he goes down the stairs and I'm trying to explain that she can basically go away, she starts screaming, "Oh my God, you tried to hit me. Everyone saw that. Like, you kids are so irresponsible. You just tried to knock me down the stairs. Do you have any idea how hurt I could have gotten? I can't believe you. You tried to knock me down the stairs. Did everyone see that?" And we're all like, "Bro, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?" And there was this one dad who had the soccer team, right? And he used to skate, I guess, when he was a kid. So he would come talk to us every now and then and just kind of like watch us go down the stairs or whatever. And he was pretty chill. So he walks over and he goes, "Whoa, whoa, 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 what's going on? Like, these kids did not try to knock you down the stairs, okay? I know them. They've never had any problems with anybody before. He probably just rolled past you. Yes, it was a little close. Like, come on, guys, be a little bit more responsible. But he didn't try to knock you down the stairs." And she's like, "No, they don't even have permits to be skating here. They just tried to knock me down the stairs. I can't believe children like this are so rude and so inconsiderate. That's it. That's it. Give me your skateboards. Everyone give me your skateboards now." And we're kind of looking at her like, excuse me? And she's like, "Well, you have 2 options. You can either give me the skateboards or I'm making a citizen's arrest on all of you." Hold up, hold up, hold up. You're gonna make a citizen's arrest on a group of kids because a kid didn't hit you. He almost hit you and you were standing near stairs. So therefore, all of us are getting arrested. Do you understand the logical reasoning of how you sound like a moron right now? You wench. So we all kind of start laughing like, there's no way this lady's being serious. She has to be trolling us, all right? You're not going to arrest a group of 6 kids. So she starts reaching down and just starts picking up skateboards. And we're kind of like, what are you doing? So I kind of like roll away, right? I'm like, I'm not giving you my skateboard. And she starts screaming about her husband's a cop and he's going to come down here and tase us all unless we start giving her our skateboards. So at this point, I'm like, this lady's clearly just having a rough day. So I'm like, all right, I'm not giving you my skateboard. I'm not going to do that. You're more than welcome to call your husband, you know? If he's a cop, he can come down here and he can take them, he can do whatever, but like, I'm not taking them. But she already had 2 boards in her hand. So my friends are like, how do we get our skateboards back? And she's like, well, you can just come to my house and pick them up. You and your parents can come to my house and pick them up. Lady, we don't know you. We don't live in a town small enough where you can just say, come to my house and pick them up. I don't know where your house is. Second of all, why do you get to take my property to your house until my mom and dad can come get it? Like, it's not like she took our skateboards and was like, oh, I'm giving them to the school and you can get them after class on Monday. I don't know, but you're not taking our property to your house and stealing it, right? Like, that's not what's about to go down. I'm sorry, lady. I know your husband's a cop or whatever, but you can't just steal our stuff. So she starts walking these skateboards to the car, and at this point, we're like, yeah, this is not happening. So I roll up behind her, and I'm like, hey, you know, you got to give us the skateboards back. You can't take them. And she walks up and then throws them in the back of her truck, like in the tailgate area, and is like, that's it. You guys are done. I'm taking these home. And she gets in the car and starts turning it on and goes to drive away. Except this idiot, this woman didn't realize that, wow, we are actually able to reach into the back of the car. I don't know if you guys know this about trucks, but the bed of the truck is very easy to stick your hand in and grab it. So we grab the skateboards and start running. And this lady, in a fit of fury, throws the truck into reverse, slams on the gas, and starts driving after us in the parking lot. And honestly, it was pretty fun. Like, we're zipping in between the parked cars, like trying to dodge this lady, and she can't keep up very well because one thing that a truck cannot do is make super sharp turns in a parking lot like a skateboard can. So she's kind of chasing us around in her car, and we're just kind of laughing at this point because it is super entertaining. And finally, she slams on the brake and she's like, I'm calling my husband. And we're like, all right, lady, call your cop husband. You look like a psychopath. At this point, there's a bunch of parents watching. The dad, who's like super chill with us, is kind of realizing that this lady's out of control. Like, when he first pulled up, he was kind of, all right, kids, don't be rude to this lady. But at this point, he's realized that this woman is definitely mentally unhinged on a level that we haven't seen in quite a long time. So we're giggling, and suddenly, about 5 minutes later, an all-black Tahoe comes pulling up, right? And out hops the guy who is very clearly on massive amounts of steroids. Like, if this dude is a cop, he was a cop for caveman, because he could probably body slam a Tyrannosaurus Rex on the concrete so hard that its aortic, whatever bone would snap. I don't know what bone. I'm not going to med school, all right? Cool it, cool it, cool it. So obviously, we're kind of scared at this point, because when you see a giant dude hop out of an all-black Tahoe and go over to his crying wife, you're kind of like, oh yeah, we're dead. So he gets this look on his face real mad, and he walks over to us, and he's like, how dare you guys assault my wife? You think it's funny to knock her down the stairs? What if she was pregnant? Like, da-da-da-da. And we're like, bro, I'm telling you right now, none of us
touched your wife at all. That's not what happened. He's like, oh, likely story. All of you are liars. Give me your skateboards. That's it. You're lucky I don't arrest you right now. I can. You know, I'm an off-duty officer. And at this point, the dad, who is always chill with us, walks up and he starts talking to the cop guy. And he's like, look, you know, obviously your wife's upset and I'm super sorry about that. But these kids didn't do anything. Like, I was watching from afar. She walked up to them, started arguing with them. One of them went down the stairs a little bit too close. And hey, I've already talked to them. I've told them, be very careful of who's around you. They know that. They never assaulted your wife. And he's like, well, then why did they grab the skateboards out of the back of the truck? And I'm like, well, it's illegal for her to take our stuff. She was just taking our skateboards and said we had to cut it back from your house. I don't know where you live. I don't know you. I don't know that you're actually a cop. I don't know anything about you. Why was I going to trust some random lady to take my property somewhere that I don't know where it's going? Like, why would I do that? And the husband's definitely at this point kind of realizing that his wife is a little bit crazy. And I think everyone's been there. Everybody's had a girlfriend or a sister or something that's like super upset about something. And then you start to get invested. And then after a little bit, you kind of realize that there may be a little bit more to the story. And they're acting a little bit out of control. So he's kind of like, oh, okay, all right. Well, you know, I don't appreciate you guys making my wife upset. You didn't have to rile her up. And we're like, you know, we didn't want to, but she was chasing us through the parking lot in her car. Like, I can't get chased by a car and not run away, dude. I don't know what I'm going to do. And he's like, no, that's fair enough. All right, well, can you just act like I yelled at you a lot? Like, can you act like we talked it out? And I was like, yeah, for sure. So he goes back to the car and he's kind of like, and you kids better stay out of here. I better not see you again. You guys better stay out of our way. All right, dude. No problem. We'll stay out of your way. And they drove off into their sunset in their matching tactical utility vehicles. All right, that truck was never used for anything other than just driving that soccer mom around. I can promise you that. And yeah, moral of the story is thank goodness that there was another adult there to back us up, because that steroid guy was definitely not in the mood to listen to us, and he was not going to believe a word we said about how he didn't attack his wife. But yeah, the crazy lady tried to steal our skateboards, put them in the back of her truck. We ended up getting it back, and everything was fine. We did stop going there on weekends after that, though, just because we really didn't want to run into that mom again, because, you know, you can only deal with a crazy husband once before the roid rage sets in. But on that note, that's going to do it for the video. Press the like button if you enjoyed. Comment down below if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're new. I upload videos like this every single day. Today's notification shout out goes to the one, the only, the very handsome Nifty Whiskey. Big shout out to you for having on notifications. If you want a notification shout out, all you got to do is turn on notifications and send a screenshot to my Instagram at Scrubby. And yeah, don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot. I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video. I'm out. Peace. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. And today, I am joined by a very special guest, one of the most special people to ever exist.
What's up, guys? It's me, Quiet. I'm literally in bed with Scrubby. That isn't a joke.
It's not a joke, but I don't feel like I can explain it any further without getting demonetized. And today, well, this week, I guess, we've been at TwitchCon, which was pretty sick. Like, I had a good time. I don't know about you.
I'm having a good-ass time. I've had a whole good-ass weekend, bro.
Yeah, so we've just been, you know, going around trying to experience San Diego and TwitchCon and all that stuff. But, of course, you know, it wouldn't be a weekend unless something stupid happened involving, like, a Karen complaining to a manager, because that just follows me like a curse. I don't know if you have any curses, but, like, I swear everywhere I go, soccer moms pop out of the woodwork to try to make my life a living hell.
They just start spawning out of the goddamn walls, like...
Like, it's like a Minecraft spawner where if I don't put torches around it fast enough.
Like, it's like past 6 p.m., the darkness level's too low, they just start popping up.
Yeah, they just start popping up everywhere. And we were at this restaurant. If you want to explain the restaurant.
So we were at this nice steakhouse, right? Like, we were trying to get dinner because we hadn't eaten anything all day. So we're walking around, we see this one restaurant. We go inside, gotta wait a little bit to be sat. But we get sat, and we're really, really hungry. And we get this nice-ass steak. But then this one bitch comes in. And she starts making a riot.
Yeah, so we're sitting there enjoying these steaks. All right, I'm not going to lie, these steaks weren't cheap. Shout out to Karen for making that ad revenue fat, you know what I mean? But we're sitting there eating these steaks, and we're having a good time, and it's really enjoyable. And the restaurant's pretty empty. It's like us and another table. And I can see while we're eating that, like,
the wife of the dude at the table is looking very unhappy, which I don't know. I thought the service was a little incredible. You know, shout out to our waiter. I forgot your name, but you were killing it, man. You were bringing the water on time. Everything was a fantastic experience. But I'm looking over the shoulder, and I see the soccer mom start to get irritated and, like, mad at the food, which there was nothing to be mad at, first of all. This place was killer. Like, I don't know how you can be mad at the food, but she is. And then, like, the dreaded words come over. Like, I can hear it. You know, the shrill, like, and their lips curl, and they go, "May I speak to the manager?"
Like the light in the room gets like 10 levels darker. Like there's like a vignette around your vision, and you feel like you're about to go into comatose.
See, like, lava coming through the floor. Like Satan starts laughing.
The hallways start getting longer.
Exactly. So we're in that situation, and I'm like, oh, this is not gonna be a fun one. And you know, because like, first of all, this place is so fancy. I think everyone's a manager. Like everybody just has that title.
Everybody's a manager somewhere.
Yeah, you know, they're doing something important. So like, she says, "May I speak to your manager?" And the guy comes over. He's like, "Is there a problem?" And you know it's gonna be a difficult complaint when they like start yelling it. Like they're like, "Oh, instead of being cognizant of other people in the room and not ruining everyone's dinner, I'm just gonna be like, yes, the potatoes are overcooked." So she starts talking about how her potatoes are overcooked and her steak is too rare. And the guy's like, "You know, I'm so sorry. We'll fix it for you. Like, come on, we're so sorry. We apologize for the inconvenience." And he starts picking up the plate. And I guess that was like not the right thing, because the next thing I know, she like slammed the plate onto the table. And that's when everybody else at the table, I think me and Quiet were like the only ones paying attention, like turns and looks. So now the entire restaurant's looking at her because this lady's having a diabetic freak out in the middle of a steakhouse at like 4 p.m. But whatever, I guess I can't judge you. And then she just starts screaming. I'll let you tell the next part.
God, she was going off about something about like the plate the waiter picked up wasn't even like full. Like she had already eaten the food on that plate. So even if it wasn't the right thing, she just like slapped that poor waiter's hand for no reason. He's probably got a broken wrist now. What's he gonna do? How's he gonna feed his family? How's he gonna feed himself? He ain't got wrist anymore. But she starts freaking out, like on not only on the waiter but the manager that like she had pulled over before, and like she's going off about like these potatoes being overcooked or some shit, and then. Like, what is he supposed to do? Because she's already eaten the fucking food she's complaining about.
Yeah, well, okay, that's the other thing. I didn't even think about that, but if you already ate the food and it was terrible, and, like, you just kept eating it, that's kind of your bad, you know? You're like, oh, this is disgusting. I'm going to eat the rest of it and then complain for more stuff. Like, look, either buy the double entree or understand that if you eat all of the disgusting food, it couldn't have been that disgusting. But I think that's way above Karen's pay grade. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, in her defense, I guess, like, I absolutely hate salt and vinegar chips. Terrible. Awful. If you like them, you're a bad person. But if there's nothing else there, you bet your ass I'm going to keep munching on them.
Because,
like,
sure,
I
that's
need,
fair. Yeah.
Maybe she was doing one of those. Shouldn't have been. Wasn't helping her case. But maybe that was it. Benefit of the doubt. You know how it is.
Okay, but she's freaking out about, like, how the entire plate was wrong after she's eaten it. And then the manager's trying to, like, calm everything down. He's still being super chill. At this point, I would have lost it and been like, well, if you don't like the steak, then throw it back up. Otherwise, I'm not refunding you, you know? Like, but he's being chill. He's like, hey, we're sorry. We'll get you another plate. But I guess that wasn't good enough because she starts saying, like, well, I wanted the food I ordered when I ordered it. And what Quite said is true is like, well, then why didn't you eat it all? You're mad that they made a mistake, and when they offer to fix the mistake, you're like, well, it should have been right the first time. Yeah, that's true, I guess, but like, they're trying to fix it, and you're just being a Karen, and I don't know how you want them to pull the food out of your obese stomach and then remold it back into what it was, and then put it back in your mouth. Like, that makes no sense, bro. But she's going in on this poor guy.
Homie, just like start a stomach surgery on spot. Pull out her appendix, pull out all of her liver, everything you can think of until you get that meat out of her so you can recook it. She doesn't want a new piece of steak cooked to the specifications. She wants the same one that she's already had pulled out of her stomach and fixed.
It makes no sense. Literally nothing. And so the manager's still trying to be nice, and she's just being horrible. And then she starts like degrading him as a person. Do you remember that?
Yeah, this is lessons with Scrubby and Quiet Boys. This is what they call ad hominem. When you attack the part of somebody that has nothing to do with what they're talking about. She starts talking about his looks and shit, like calling him a bit pubby, which he was not. He was a beautiful man. I can tell you that. Great mustache, great hair.
Handsome.
Yeah, honestly, like beautiful. Very solid 8, 9 out of 10 guy.
Yeah.
Like, no homo. But you know how it is. Like, she was going after stuff that, like, wasn't even there, trying to attack his integrity and shit. Like, it was so dumb.
Yeah, she's calling him a liar. She's like, "You deceived me. You lied to me when you said that this was medium rare." And he's like, "I'm sorry. I'm not under oath. I made a mistake. I'm sorry." But she's calling him like a liar and saying that she hopes that his children like have a better father figure because he's not a man. And we're like, he just messed up your order, lady. You don't need to attack his manhood. Like, she's attacking this guy, like destroying him, saying that he's not a good father because this lady ate all of the dinner she didn't want. I don't even know how you're that bad of a person. Like, you ever seen someone do something and you're like, you can do that and not implode? Like, you're just, how are you that bad of a person?
Exactly. There's multiple ways to do the same thing. That is one you should never have done. Like, as this goes on, she's getting louder and louder and louder. And like, if our whole table wasn't looking before, they're sure as hell looking now. And then all the other tables around us, like other TwitchCon attendees, are all looking at her because she's making such a big ruckus.
Yeah, and then here's the real kicker. So you ever seen like on the game show when people get the cheat and they can pick like an audience help or can they call a friend?
Yeah, they got a lifeline.
Yeah, they have a lifeline. She decides that she's losing this argument because they're looking at her like she's crazy. So she goes and she hits the buzzer and she's like, "I'd like to use my lifeline, please," and starts trying to get like other tables involved. And so she's working her way through the restaurant. She's like, "Don't you guys agree?" And people are like, "Oh, I don't know." And so she's like trying to look for a definitive person to like back her up and make her feel important or whatever. And so she's going through and people are just like ignoring her or like not responding. And she's getting closer to our table. And I'm like, what is happening? I feel like I'm on a game show. I'm Ninja Tyler Blevins on Family Feud.
I feel like I'm on a character select screen in Smash Bros. Or some shit. Like, she's trying to pick her next fighter.
It's like your cousin trying to frantically.
It's like you trying to teach your like little 3-year-old toddler cousin how to hold the controller, and your parents are like, "Nope, you gotta let him play now." It's basically that, except with Karens and managers.
So she stumbles upon us, and like where I'm just flabbergasted that this is going on. And she's like, "What do you guys think?" And I didn't say anything because I was like confused, but quite quick on his feet just starts like showing this girl who's boss. It was crazy.
Honestly, it didn't take a lot. All I had to say was some shit like, "You were making a scene. That's it, homie." And then like she was gone, shut down, like because none of the whole other rest of the restaurant was either ignoring her, telling her no, and that was that.
Yeah. So quite kind of is like, you're causing a scene. We're trying to enjoy our dinner. Like, he's a nice guy. This guy is really, really a great guy. You guys should check out his channel. You should. He's a good guy. But like, he doesn't want to make this girl feel bad. He's kind of like, you're making a scene and reasons with her, like without picking yes or no. And she's kind of realizes she's dumb and she sits down and she's like, "My steak still sucked." And like the husband, for some reason during all this, like, I don't know if you noticed, but she was going off. He has like his head in his hands and is just like sighing. Like this is not the first time this has happened for this guy.
It's probably happened for less. Like she's probably had bigger explosions over smaller things, I'd imagine.
Yeah, bro. But you could just tell this guy was like, "I didn't make her sign a prenup," and just like rubbing his head, like, "God, I should have gone for the divorce. Like, this was a bad idea to keep this going." But, and she did not seem ashamed at all. She was like a cat, like cleaning itself on the bed.
She was like Karen away, but not because she thought she was wrong, but because she's just like, nobody understands.
Yeah, like it was the entitlement was insane. And then afterwards the manager comes up to us and he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry for that." And he starts trying to like give us a discount, like, because he felt bad for making a scene like this. How are you so mad at this guy? This guy was clearly such a nice guy. Like, even afterwards, instead of being like, "That lady was crazy," he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry for interrupting your meal. Here, let me help you." Like, that makes it even worse when the manager you're yelling at isn't dumb. Like, they're a nice guy. Like,
he's just a nice guy trying to do his job, Excellent service.
Yeah, it was great. But, yeah, moral of the story is soccer moms are gonna go off no matter where you go. They're like sirens, that
they're attracted to
the cops are always gonna come through with it. But yeah, I mean, what do you think the moral is?
I think the moral is subscribe to my YouTube channel. Quite.
Yeah, subscribe to Quite. But on that note, guys, that's going to do it for the video. You should check out Quite's channel, though. He makes really good videos. I'd recommend him. He's a funny guy. We had a lot of fun hanging out this weekend. And we actually do have more stories. We ran into another Karen that wasn't, like, as crazy, but it was still pretty crazy. And if this video gets 50,000 likes, we'll do it again. Are you down?
Hell yeah, brother. Thanks for having me on.
No, for sure. And yeah, on that note, have you guys an incredible day. Today's notification shout out goes to Holland VS. Big shout out to you for having on notifications. If you want a notification shout out, you just got to send me a screenshot of your notifications being on to my Instagram, which is @Scrubby, which you should follow, by the way. And yeah, on that note, don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot. And I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video. I'm out. Peace.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are all having an absolutely fantastic day. I know I am. And if you are having a fantastic day, be sure to press the like button. Otherwise, no joke, no scam. Next time you go into work, every customer within an 8-mile radius will suddenly have a hatred for you and your stupid name tag. Yeah, that's right, press the like button. Anyways, guys, what's going on? It's your boy Scrub here, and while usually I'm coming at you with the high-intensity stories, the super action adventure time stuff, today I'm just gonna tell you guys about something really annoying about having a job that hopefully some of you guys are gonna be able to relate to. You see, I decided that I should make an entire video about those people that come into your work and just share way too much about their life that you don't care about. I don't know what it is about working in a place where people are like ordering food or buying concessions or anything like that, but I feel like everybody that would come up to this little podium and talk to me felt like I was now their therapist, alright? Like, hey, I know your name tag says this theater, but can you be Dr. Phil instead? Because my wife's cheating on me and I don't know what to do. Honestly, I know more about strangers' lives than I ever necessarily thought I would ever have to know. I remember one time, it was late at night, and I think it was the premiere of a new Marvel movie, and I worked in a theater that served alcohol, so no surprise, some people were a little more hydrated than others, and one guy comes out of the theater, in the middle of the movie, walks up to me and goes, "Hey man, can I get some advice?" And I'm like, "Yes, sure, middle-aged man watching a Marvel movie at midnight, ask me, the 17-year-old boy, for life advice. I don't know you, I don't know your situation, I'm just trying to give you popcorn so you shut up and go away." And he starts asking me what he should do because he found out that his fiance is cheating on him with his brother. And I'm like, sir, please. This is a Wendy's. Like, that meme is so relatable because the amount of things that I would hear that I don't care about is insane. You are out here to order popcorn. There's still a movie going on inside. You came out and asked a total stranger who was 17 what you should do because your fiance is sleeping with your brother. I don't know, man. Maybe like, tell her good job. I don't know what to tell you, dude. I've never been in that situation before. And if I ever found out my fiance was sleeping with my brother, I certainly wouldn't be asking strangers in the middle of a movie theater lobby who work there what to do with my situation. And as weird as that story is, it's actually not the worst part of all of this, okay? Because it's one thing if a crazy guy comes out of a movie theater and just starts complaining about his life and how his fiance cheats on him, whatever, no big deal. I've had plenty of people ask me for advice in very weird situations. I had one girl that got an from someone that wasn't her boyfriend and wanted me to give her advice on how to tell him. I've had a lot of weird situations, and those suck. They're uncomfortable. Nobody walks away feeling any better at all unless you're very strange. But the worst part, the worst customers that would tell you way too much is when they would get you involved in an argument that you didn't want to be in part of. Alright, if your life is falling apart and you really need to talk to me, whatever, it's not the most pleasant thing ever, but I guess I can handle it. But when you and your girlfriend come in and start arguing to me, it's not something that I'm really down for to get involved in, alright? None of my job description says marriage counselor. I'm really sorry. And you'd be surprised how much this would happen. You would see him come in. I'd be standing at the concession sign, just looking at the doors, and in would walk a couple that looks like they're fighting, you know? They're angry at each other, they're not making eye contact, they're looking annoyed anytime they have to interact. You can just tell that they're fighting. And whatever, they walk up to you and they start asking for popcorn and, you know, hey, do you want butter on it? That's a question you have to ask them. And suddenly, it's World War III because she wants butter and he doesn't. And he starts talking about this is the exact reason why we just got in a fight because you're never willing to sacrifice and give me what I want. And she starts talking about how, well, maybe if he could keep his hands off all the other popcorns, then it wouldn't be a problem. And I'm standing here holding the popcorn going, all right, man, I sure do not want to be involved in this at all. Do you want butter or not? And suddenly, they're both looking at me saying, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? Don't you agree that this is unfair? Don't you think that that's unfair?
Sir, please just take the popcorn and leave the premises. I really don't want to get involved in your girlfriend and yours fight, all right? Like, I really, really, really don't. All the time, couples would come in, or parents with kids would come in and start arguing and, like, ask me for my opinion. I don't know. How about you just get your popcorn and go watch your movie and leave me alone, because I really don't want to have this conversation with you. The amount of times a kid would be being a brat and get yelled at, and then their mom would be like, I bet you he doesn't behave like that when he was little. And I'm like, dude, what am I? Am I supposed to be a role model? I'm working in a movie theater. It's not like you just pointed at, you know, some soldier, like some good role model. You just said, don't you want to be like the man cleaning toilets in a movie theater? No, the kid's probably going to start misbehaving even more, all right? Like, let's keep it 100. But all the time, man, people would try to drag me into their arguments, and I am not getting paid enough to argue with strangers about stuff that I don't care about. To be frank with you, man, I don't really care if you can't keep your hands off the other popcorn. And I don't really care if she never sacrifices anything to give you what she wants. Can you guys please just order something or get out, because there's people behind you in line? Oh my god. And that's annoying. That's annoying, but that was just at a movie theater. I've had a lot of friends that have worked in drive-thrus, and apparently that is even worse, and I can't imagine. These are people that I'm looking in the face that are still being this dumb. I couldn't imagine people that don't see you at all ordering through, you know, whatever they think is English into a speaker on the side of the freeway McDonald's where you can hear every semi-truck passing by. And I've heard horror stories. I had a friend that told me one time she was working in the drive-thru, ironically, at a Wendy's, and this guy came into the drive-thru and was talking what sounded like a Hobbit language to her through the microphone, going, so she kept saying, sir, I can't hear you, can you talk a little more clearly? And he kept slowly getting angrier and angrier with this Hobbit language, pulled around the side as fast as he could, slams on the brake in front of the window and goes, are you deaf? Why can't you hear me? And she's like, sir, I'm sorry, you know, it must have been the microphone, there must be something wrong with it. And he says, well, I want 8 hamburgers and 47 drinks, and makes this ginormous order, right? And so she's sitting there like, oh, okay. And so there's this awkward moment where they have to go make all that food, and he's just standing there with his window open. She's standing there just awkwardly, and he starts talking to her, and he's like, how old are you? And so she says, oh, I'm, 17. And the old man starts saying, that's how old I was when I met my wife. I was 43. She was 17. She's leaving me right now. That's why I'm getting all this food, is I'm going to go see all my grandkids and kids and try to convince them to support me in the divorce so I don't lose everything. And basically, you remind me of my wife, and she's a butthole, so I'm guessing that you're a butthole too, but he didn't say butthole, and starts yelling at her, being like, why would you betray me? As if this girl, who is literally working in the Wendy's drive-thru, is his ex-wife. Like, I don't know if he was in psychosis or what, but he's yelling at her, asking her, why would you take the kids away? And she's like, sir, I literally am trying to give you your cheeseburgers. Please chill. So finally, all the food gets made. The guy takes it and says, I hope you find what you're looking for. I wish you nothing but happiness. And says his ex-wife's name and leaves, which is like, what is going on, bro? Sir, this is a Wendy's. Please leave. And you do not get paid enough at a fast food establishment to deal with this. Like, imagine if this was your job description when you applied for a Wendy's job. Eventually, a senile old man will come up, speak gibberish and Hobbit into the speaker, will come around and start screaming at you for destroying his family because his ex-wife looks like you because he was dating a 17-year-old when he was 43. Yeah, that's basically it. So I'm just telling all of you, the person that you're ordering your food from, the person that's helping you shop for a TV does not want to hear about your personal life. I'm sorry, it's nothing personal, but I really don't want a senile old man yelling at me like I'm his ex-wife. This is a Wendy's, sir. If you can't order fast food without having a flashback about your ex-wife taking the kids, maybe you shouldn't keep going through the drive-thru every day, Jeremiah, alright? Think about it logically. And I know a lot of you are sitting there thinking, everyone in this story is such a boomer. All these old people get confused. But no, young people would do it too, dude. Teenagers would walk in fighting with their girlfriend and be like, you know how it is when your girlfriend's a jerk. And I'm like, yo, man, I'm not going to call your girlfriend a jerk in front of her when I'm just trying to give her popcorn. Can you please stop getting me involved in your argument? You know? Plus, what am I doing to be credentialed at all? Like, you're telling me that you've been dating this person. You know them better than anybody else. And you're going to ask me, a person who knows neither of you, outside of the fact that you want your popcorn buttered, if you should break up with them?
I don't know. I don't know you at all. I am not a marriage counselor, dude. Like, what do you want me to do? Imagine breaking up with your girlfriend of 8 years when everyone's like, why did you break up with her, man? I thought you loved her. Well, some kid who was giving me popcorn told me that he wouldn't let himself be treated like that, and that just really resonated with me. If that resonates with you, dude, I really think you need to go get a psych evaluation because I should not be giving anyone life advice, all right? I literally do nothing but tell stories and play Counter-Strike Combat Surf. Like, my life is not that interesting. I shouldn't be giving anyone advice on how to do anything. So, yeah, moral of the story, ladies and gentlemen, is basically, I don't care what's going on in your life if I'm giving you food. Please stop telling me. So, next time you're out and about and you're fighting with your girlfriend and you're gonna ask your waiter if she looks like a hippo in this picture, just don't. Let everybody avoid the awkward conversation that's going to come after that. And yeah, we can all get along and be friends. On that note, though, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to press the like button. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought. If you really like the channel and you like the videos, you guys should go check out the merch. The No Joke, No Scam merch is on the Teespring store in the description. It's really cool and it helps out the channel a ton. But other than that, guys, if you're new, be sure to turn on notifications. And if you do and you send a screenshot to my Instagram at Scrubby, I shout somebody out every day. And today's notification shout out, ladies and gentlemen, goes to the always fantastic and occasionally ripped Nathan St. Jean 123. Thank you for having on notifications. Anyways, guys, have yourselves an incredible day. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot. Thank you so much for all the support recently, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video. I'm out. Peace. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. I hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am. And if you are, be sure to press the like button. Otherwise, no joke, no scam. Your school's going to reopen, but only for you. You're going to be the only kid in every one of your classes, and your teachers are going to be staring at you for 45 minutes at a time. Anyways, yesterday when I was live streaming over on twitch.tv/ScrubbyOG, where I've been streaming every day, link down in the description below. Self-plug. Someone in the comments section was like, yo, do you have any more skating stories? And the good thing is I do. I actually do have a story that involves skating in a Lowe's parking lot when some lady just started screaming at us for no reason. But apparently it do be like that sometimes out here on the streets. Other than the fact that I sound like a white dad trying to be gangster right now, it should be a pretty fun story about me getting yelled at while skating. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into the video. 3, 2, 1, blah. So, summer nights in Vegas are just kind of like a weird situation. It's usually like 117 degrees during the day, so at night when it gets down to like 90, that's when you go and try to have fun with your friends. And when you're like 16, 17 and you can stay out a little bit later, you basically just find a place to hang out where it's not as hot and the sun's not beating down on you, and you do what you gotta do. And since me and my friends would skate pretty regularly, the skate parks would close at like 9, and we would just be like, all right, we don't want to finish skating yet, so we'd go get milkshakes and go to an empty parking lot that was lit up and just kind of skate around and goof off. We wouldn't harm anybody. Like I said, it's late at night. It's not like we were skating in a parking lot during the middle of the day when grandmas are trying to get into Walmart and we're like popping ollies over their shopping carts and hitting them in the face. It wasn't like that. We were really just in empty parking lots with the lights on, drinking milkshakes and skating. That was all we were doing. And there was one parking lot near like most of our houses, or relatively close to most of our houses, that had a Lowe's in it. And it was basically empty. There was a lot more buildings, but Lowe's was the only store that was still open inside, so, you know, it was the perfect situation. The parking lot was lit up. There was never a lot of cars because who's going to Lowe's at like midnight? Not a lot of people. I highly doubt most people are like, oh my god, babe, I really need kitchen tile at 2 in the morning. So it was just a good place to hang out and skate. And most nights there would be literally no cars in the parking lot. Every now and then there would be like one other car, but we would basically like just skate in this empty parking lot, no big deal. And it was kind of a tradition. We did it for like 3 weeks straight, no problem. And there had even been cop cars that would like drive through, but because we weren't doing anything but like drinking milkshakes and skating, they would for the most part leave us alone. Like they would just kind of be like, hey, are you guys okay? Yeah. You doing anything bad? No, whatever. So it was a really nice spot to hang out. And one day, we like get to the middle of the parking lot, we get out, we just start skating under these fluorescent lights, and we're just having a good time and laughing, and this truck pulls in. But it's one of those super big lifted trucks with like, you know, just screams, "Hi, I'm compensating for something." Just one of those trucks that's lifted way too high. All right, Timmy, you don't really need a monster truck to drive around. But whatever, it parks in the parking lot, and we just don't really think anything of it. We keep skating. And if you've ever been around skateboards before, whenever you're doing any type of trick, there's a pop that the board makes whenever it, like, hits the ground, but it's basically unavoidable to do most tricks. There's going to be a noise like it or not. So we're skating, and it's not super loud, and it's literally us two cars in the parking lot, and we were here first. So we just keep skating, and apparently whoever is in the truck is very, very, very annoyed at us making noise, because we start to notice that whenever we're, like, popping our board, they're honking, as if to be like, "Hey, be quiet." So whatever, we're like just kind of laughing at it, smiling, because it's kind of amusing that whoever is in this truck is just staring at us when they're the ones in the parking lot at midnight too, and trying to piss us off and like honk the horn. It doesn't really bother us that much. So we just keep doing tricks, and they keep honking whenever we're making the pop of the board. So one of my friends goes to do a trick, and they honk, and it like throws him off, so he flips off the truck, because it's like, dog, come on, we get it. You don't like us being loud. We're not leaving. We were here first. Go find another parking lot. It's not like they're hard to find at midnight. But when he flips off the truck, it like revs its engines, does a little burnout, and peels over to us, and the windows roll down, and all you hear is just incoherent bump, like boomer screaming, just, "Who do you think you are? I'm an adult. You should respect your elders. I don't know who you think you are to flip me off. Do you have any idea what time it is?" As if that has anything to do with it. Like, oh my god, you are so right, sir. I didn't realize that at midnight I was flipping people off. Everybody knows that this is a sacred hour. So the boomers are screaming at us, and we're obviously laughing because there's this truck screaming, and that's when the passenger door like flies open with the sass that only a middle-aged woman could provide to such a non-important situation. Moms really be bringing the heat to the most irrelevant stuff, dude. Like, excuse me, snacks are downstairs, but like the eyes say World War III is about to break out. That's low-key how this door flings open, is with the anger of 80 moms. And what do we see coming down from the side of the truck except for camouflage Crocs? That's right, the lady stepping out of this apparently not only hates herself, but hates everyone that has to look at her footwear, because camouflage Crocs are like a double whammy. And I get it, Crocs are reasonable sometimes, but I mean, it's just a weird footwear to wear to yell at people. Like, it's very hard to be intimidated by somebody wearing Crocs, but I see this Croc step down, and like this very, very angry Karen looking woman who definitely peaked in high school is just standing there angrily, and she's like, "Which one of you punks flipped off me and my husband?" You know, and we hear like, "Get back in the car, Cheryl," from the other side. The husband's trying to get her back in because he probably realizes that if this does go bad, there's like 8 teenagers and like an angry middle-aged woman in Crocs and him. So she just starts being, "Who the hell think you guys are to come around these parts and be disrespectful?" And obviously, because of the situation at hand, we're just like arguing with her. So incoherently, most of us yelling at her are like, "You guys came here. We were here first. We're here every night. What do you mean you don't own the parking lot? You're the one honking like a moron whenever we're doing tricks." And she starts screaming. She's like, "I don't know if you guys understand what it means to be nice to people, but me and my husband are trying to have a serious conversation in our truck, and you guys keep making loud noises with your skateboards." Oh, my bad. I'm sorry that you and your husband are trying to figure out your divorce in the middle of a Lowe's parking lot at 1 in the morning and are annoyed by the fact that teenagers are also here. Maybe go literally anywhere else and have this conversation, bro. I don't know why you need the parking lot that we're always in to do this. You understand that our divorce lawyer works behind the Lowe's in a dumpster, and we're here to meet him at 1 in the morning? Like, I don't understand how any of that is my fault. And like I said, you guys can't have a conversation with a faint pop of wood going on? Like, what do you mean? Skateboards aren't that loud. It's not like it's a gunshot every time. "Yeah, honey, I just feel like when you fart and hold me under the covers, it makes me feel like you don't love me, and that's why I want to get a divorce." Those damn skaters over there are making it impossible to have this conversation, aren't they? So everybody's laughing at her, which makes her more mad. Karens have this thing that when they're not taken seriously, it activates like their magic card to just add extra anger to the situation. So we're obviously laughing, and she decides what she's gonna do to teach us a lesson. Is she like, stomps over to us with her camouflage Crocs and goes to try to pick up one of my friend's skateboards. And my friend like puts his foot down on it when she tries to like pick it up. And so it like slams back down, and so her hands go back down because she was trying to pick it up. It doesn't hurt her. Her fingers don't get smashed or anything. But, you know, it's kind of saying like, you're not going to steal my stuff just because you think that it's loud in a Lowe's parking lot. And when that happens, she decides that that's going to be her, you know, pity card, because she just starts screaming, ah, help, help, help. And my friend like backs away, and we're all just standing absolutely still watching this lady scream, they're attacking me, they're attacking me, they're attacking me. And she's freaking out. And the other truck door opens, and we're like, great, her husband's gonna come over here and start trying to fight us. The husband comes over and starts like trying to push his wife into the truck. He's like, honey, we gotta go, we gotta go. And she's like, they're attacking me. And he's like, no, they're not attacking you, get in the truck. She's like, no, no, they're attacking me. This is our place to have a conversation. Help, help. And then she looks around and realizes that there is literally nobody else in the parking lot. She is screaming help to nobody. It's literally us and her husband. And clearly, her husband is sitting here thinking, my God, I should get a divorce because this lady is batshit crazy trying to flop like an NBA point guard because these kids accidentally, like, you know, made her hand uncomfortable because she tried to steal their skateboards. Which, in the grand scheme of things, is a pretty fair trade-off. You tried to steal my friend's stuff. He, I don't know, major hand owie. And when she realizes that there's nobody else to help her and all of us are just laughing at her, she like flips us off and yells, if you guys were my kids, I would beat you. And we're like, oh, okay, sick insult. I don't understand if that's supposed to make me sad. Oh yeah, if you were hypothetically my mother in a hypothetical scenario where we met in the Lowe's at midnight, you would hit me? God damn, man, I guess at that point, what am I supposed to do? That's the greatest insult I've ever heard. So her husband finally gets her back in this giant lifted truck that he got to compensate. And he's like going back around to the driver's side, but he does it very awkwardly where he has to walk around the truck while we're all just staring at him. So we're all staring very just what the hell is going on. And as he's coming around the car, he looks, he goes, I'm really sorry, guys. And we're like, it's okay. Have a good night. And he just, you know, smiles and gets back in the truck and drives away. And we're like, what the hell just happened, dude? I'm pretty sure that this Karen, it was a full moon, so maybe it just came out and her husband was just like really fed up with it, realized she was going off the deep end because it was just the night where the Karen werewolves come out. But yeah, moral of the story is me skating in a Lowe's parking lot at midnight might have accidentally caused a divorce. So if I accidentally made your parents' marriage fall apart, that's definitely my bad. But shout out to that husband for realizing that his wife was a little bit crazy. On that note, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to press the like button. Let me know in the comments section down below what you thought. I have been streaming on Twitch, just watching videos, so if you guys want something to do during quarantine, twitch.tv/ScrubbyOG is where you should check it out. If you're new, turn on notifications because I give a notification shout out every day. Today's notification shout out goes to Bitchy Nina. Big thank you for having on those notifications. I do really appreciate it. And yeah, hope you guys have an absolutely incredible day. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot. And hopefully I'll see you guys next time with another video. I'm out. Peace.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am. I understand that I've been gone for a bit. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I've been addicted to League of Legends for like the past 5 days, and honestly just wasn't feeling very good and didn't really want to make a video, so I didn't. I know, Mr. Consistent low-key let you guys down, but if you guys are having a good day like I know I am today, be sure to press the like button. Otherwise, no joke, no scam. Your dad will leave to get milk and never come back. Yeah, that's right, guys. You're pressing the like button for a father figure. Anyways, guys, real talk. I did take last week off, zip on down to California, spent a night on a haunted ghost ship, which sadly didn't see any ghosts. You know, I was low-key, like, on my Instagram, taunting these ghosts to come haunt me, and they just didn't. But regardless, after spending a night on the Queen Mary, which is supposedly a haunted ship, me and the fam bam decided to go to Disneyland, you know, and I'm a big fan of Disneyland, alright? I'm not gonna lie. If that makes me a cornball, then so be it. I guess I'm a ball of maize because I do indeed love me some Disney. And for the most part, I've been at Disney long enough where, like, most of the basic stuff doesn't really impress me anymore, you know? I've talked to people that are like, wow, I love waiting in line at Disneyland because each line is so unique. Yeah, that's not me. I'm not a big fan of waiting in line, as neither is anybody else in my family, you know? Like, I'm sorry, but standing still for 12 hours, slowly stepping forward with a bunch of families that smell like sunscreen around me is not my favorite part of an amusement park. Yeah, that's not like that. And the lines honestly weren't that bad at Disneyland, to be honest. They were pretty solid. But there was one ride that we had to wait about 45 minutes for. And 45 minutes of a wait is a long enough of a wait for me at an amusement park where I'm low-key starting to, like, look at my phone and overall, you know, try to entertain myself a little bit. Like, I might be able to stay off my phone for a 15-minute wait, you know? Something that's a little bit challenging but not too hard. But 45 minutes plus, bro, that's not, you know, like waiting in line. You could solve a Rubik's Cube in that amount of time with no experience whatsoever. That's how you know the line is too long. So whatever, we're waiting in line for this ride in Star Wars Land that's a little over like 45 minutes. I think it was like a 47-minute wait. And my family, you know, and I are just sitting there vibing, and I'm pretty chill with my little brother. You know, he's a cool dude, and I guess my parents aren't the worst ever. I'm spending time with them. It's a little awkward, but we decided to play that game where, like, you put the phone on your head and have to basically play charades. So it'll pop up and it'll be like Mickey Mouse. You have to guess the person to guess Mickey Mouse's name. You guys have probably seen it before. It's just really good for wasting time in line. And like I said, once it hits 45 minutes, I'm looking for any ways to entertain myself. So whatever, me and my family are playing the charades game. I'm not gonna lie, we're having ourselves a pretty good time. We're laughing, we're like joking around, obviously enjoying ourselves as a family, all right? It's not like some weird, you know, antisocial phone situation where Rebecca is texting her third boyfriend of the week and is like, oh my god, Dad, you're so annoying. Like, we're low-key playing a family game together on the phone, but there's these old people in line behind us, and I guess, you know, the scent of having fun just irritated their boomer souls, because what happens next is somebody taps my mom on the shoulder from, like, across us in line and is like, are you guys really so addicted to technology that you can't get off it for 45 minutes? And it's this old lady that low-key looks like Betty White, but, like, not normal Betty White. If Betty White had a love child with Emperor Palpatine from Star Wars and was just low-key looking like she had been siphoning life out of preschool children that were also depressed, like, not a good type of old, you know, but just old with, like, that stereotypical white grandma hair, you know? Betty White, I'm not trying to disrespect you. Betty White's a lovely lady, no disrespect. This person just looked like Betty White's evil twin that had bad plastic surgery. So she taps my mom on the elbow and she's like, are you guys really so addicted to technology that you can't go 45 minutes without it? Which, I mean, first of all, low-key is none of your business. If I'm waiting in line with my phone out, I don't really see what any of that has to do with you at all. But you know how these boomers are, you know? And my mom, bless her heart, is a nicer person than me. Like, I don't really got patience for boomers, you know? I ain't really one to be out here just letting boomers yell at me for the fun of it. But somehow, my mom has the patience to politely explain to the lady, oh, you know, we're just playing a game to pass the time, ha ha. I do try to limit my younger one's phone time, but my older one's an adult, so he can do what he wants. And the grandma, like, huffs at my mom and is like, huh, some parent you are. No wonder kids are, like, going downhill. I knew that there were more loud kids at the park this time around. Which, I mean, low-key, kind of offensive to say somebody's a bad mom, especially when they brought their kid to Disneyland. Like, I don't think many bad parents are whipping the family to Disneyland, you know? So my mom is being nice and is like, oh, yeah, sorry, haha, sorry to bother you, and, like, puts the phone away. But, you know, I'm a little petty. I'm not my mom. My mom might just let herself get insulted by Betty Crocker's evil twin, but that's not me. No, 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 ladies and gentlemen. So I do the only thing that I can. I whip out my phone and start playing TikTok as loud as humanly possible, because if there's only one thing that boomers hate more than cell phones, it's loud cell phones. You know, just combine the things that they hate. So the grandma lady is, like, giving me the evil eye, and my mom's like, Ryan, put your phone away. And I'm like, nah, because I'm not getting told what to do by some boomer in line, all right? Like, if it was a worker, that's one thing, but some old lady that just doesn't like a family having fun, GG. And before anyone in the chat is like, oh my god, Ryan, you're so mean. Like, all right, me and my family were playing charades, and this lady got involved to make sure that we stopped having fun. I'm not being mean, I'm just being petty. I'm not going to deny that, but petty and mean are different. I can be mean and be petty. You know, they can be different things. So I pull my phone out and I'm playing TikTok as loud as possible. And the old lady finally decides to, you know, question me about it because I guess she's had enough. So she goes, can you turn that down? Some of us are trying to enjoy the atmosphere. And we're waiting in line. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Was it inconsiderate of me to get involved in things that don't, like, matter and interrupt your space? And she's like, oh, you think you're smart just because I told you guys to get off your phone? Like, I'm sorry for wanting you to enjoy what you spent your hard-earned money on. And I'm like, listen, lady, we're waiting in line. If we want to enjoy ourselves by being on our phone, that's none of our business. I'll mute it. But next time you go to get involved in somebody else's life at Disneyland, you just might want to remember that you're shrieking at everybody else to get off their phone is more annoying than anyone being on their phone ever could be. And the old lady low-key got pressed, and I had to stand there awkwardly in line for like another 35 minutes after that. Yeah, I did stand up to an old lady, you know, I'm gonna give myself a little bit credit there, but I'm also gonna make fun of myself because I really didn't think through the practicality of having to stand next to somebody that you just called out in line. Like, telling this old lady that her voice is as annoying as blatantly loud TikToks low-key sounds really cool. Oh yeah, you stood up to this lady who was mean to your mom, but having to stand next to the person you just called out for an extended period of time definitely is awkward too. And I don't really know what was up with the old people in Southern California when I was there, but I had another incident with a boomer too. They were just really on a streak, you know, some lady that just apparently hated fun so much she had to ruin a family game of charades. SMH, you know. Old people are really out there. But on top of that, the second day we're in Disneyland, you know, I wanted to go early so I could ride this new Star Wars ride, which is honestly a 10 out of 10. Like, if you haven't ridden the new Star Wars ride, definitely would recommend it. You know, find a way to go to Disneyland, smuggle yourself in inside a Mickey Mouse costume, whatever you gotta do. It really slaps, but you have to get there super early. So it's before the park opens and we're waiting in line for security, and the line is literally not moving. There's like nowhere to go because the park's not open. They're not letting us in through security yet. And it's me and my family puts me in the front because they assume that I can be the meanest to old people, which I mean, you know, I just don't let boomers get their way without a little bit of payment, you know, no big deal, no big deal. Obviously, I'm kidding, I'm nice to most grandmas. And I'm in the front and the line's literally not moving, there's nowhere to go. And I feel this thing like nudging my rib cage, you know, almost like an angry beagle sniffing something that's underneath you when you're sleeping and they're like low-key touching the blanket with your nose. That's a very specific description, but I feel like at least a couple of you understand what I'm saying, you know? And there's like this soccer mom, Karen looking figure just elbowing me to like push me out of the way. And like I said, there's nowhere to go. It's not like I'm just standing in a line that's supposed to be moving. So I like try to ignore her because low key, she really sucks at elbowing people in the ribs. Like it's really not hard to not be bad at getting an elbow inside someone's ribs and making it uncomfortable. That's just a go-to. It should be easy. But for whatever reason, she elbows me like a weakling. So I'm just ignoring her that she's not there. And finally, the line starts to move and she's with her like entire family, all of which look like they haven't showered in 3 days, bro. Their hairs were so greasy, it could have started a grease fire. So the line starts moving and there's like a line next to me where there's this family with 2 strollers, bro. And this lady elbows me out of the way and like pushes her way in between this family with 2 strollers. So now it's awkward because they have to talk around her and they're like obviously being loud about how weird it is for people to cut in the middle of a group in line, you know, very obviously talking about her, and she ignores them, bro. So she elbows past the guy with the stroller and gets into another line and just like slowly gets left behind us. So another woman, I guess, wanted beef, tried to like elbow me out of the way for security, and then when the line finally started moving, invaded some other family's beautiful like stroller group and then ended up getting in probably 10 minutes after us because she kept jumping in longer and longer lines. So I don't really know what was up, dude, but I guess old ladies doing things that makes no sense was really in style in Disneyland this trip. So if you guys are gonna go, you should be good. I took care of all the angry boomers, so you guys should be able to have a good time. That's gonna do it for the stories, though. I'm gonna have a little channel update if you guys are interested, but that'll do it for that. A little update. I know I've been gone. I didn't upload for like a long time, 4 days, which is probably the longest I've ever gone without uploading. I don't know, I'm just feeling a little bit demotivated. It's nothing you guys can do. YouTube's just down. I'm gonna be doing better videos on the main channel because low-key, they've kind of sucked for a bit and I feel bad. And I'll probably just keep posting on the Storytime channel a lot. I don't really know if daily's gonna be a thing anymore just because I want to make sure that all the stories are really good and actually entertaining for you guys, you know? And I might not be able to do that every day, but seriously though, I wanted to thank you guys all so much for the support again recently. Like, I understand that I've kind of been missing. I've been MIA. The quality ain't been what it used to be, but I'm working on it, all right? I'm aware, and I promise that they're going to be getting better. But on that note, guys, if you really want to support the channel, consider checking out the merch down below. It really does help. And other than that, today's notification shout-out goes to the very handy, awesome, and intelligent, swagtastic, sometimes occasionally upside down, Josh Fernandez. Big thank you for having on notifications. If you turn them on, send a screenshot to my Instagram at Scrubby, and I shout somebody out every video. But on that note, don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time in another video. I'm out. Peace. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having an absolutely fantastic day. I know I am. If you are, be sure to press the like button. Otherwise, no joke, no scam. You'll be duct taped to a lawn chair strapped on top of the next NASA rocket and blasted into space. That's right, bruv. I don't know why I went British for a second, but if you do not press the like button, you'll be going to space, so get ready to go airborne. Anyways, guys, today I've got a story time for you guys about the time my friend's mom went off on a police officer that was stopping traffic because we were late for our soccer game, and I've never seen such Karen rage, you know? Sometimes Karens are the bad guys, but every now and then, very, very rarely, Karens use their strength to, you know, overwhelm the obstacles in front of you and get exactly what they want. Everybody hates a Karen till the Karen is fighting for them, you know? And today, I have a story about how I allied with a Karen to get what I needed to get done. It's an intense situation, all right? When I was 8 years old, I was playing soccer, and I was pretty sure I was the next Lionel Messi. I was kicking kids in the shins. I didn't care, bro. I was a straight savage out there on the soccer field, and I wasn't even worried about it. And we had this game that was like across town, and I live in Las Vegas, and to drive all the way from like where I live in one corner of the valley to the other corner of the valley where our soccer game was takes about an hour, you know? So it's already about an hour ride, and I had a friend who lived closer, so it was only gonna be like a 30-minute ride. So we're 8 and we played on the same soccer team and we got along. So the day before, my parents sent me to his house to spend the night, and they're like, in the morning, you're just gonna go to the game with him. Whatever. I don't really care, bro. I'm like, sick. I get to spend time with the boys, because even back then, everybody knows that it's bros before hoes all the time. 8-year-old me didn't even really like girls. It didn't even matter, because the boys were always gonna be first. Regardless, we get up and we're like, all right, let's get to the soccer tournament. So we get in the car, and I don't know what happened, all right? I was a little kid, but there is traffic the size of, I don't know, something very big. Jake Paul's ego. Yeah, it was the size of Jake Paul's ego, this traffic jam. And we are sitting in traffic for like maybe 2.5 hours. Keep in mind, it was only supposed to take us 30 minutes to get to the game. And we're supposed to be playing in a tournament. So we've already missed an entire game that we were supposed to be playing in. It's super weird that they make 8-year-olds play soccer tournaments. Like, as if 8-year-olds are going to be just out there competing with the best of them. You know, nobody wants to watch 8-year-old soccer. Let's keep it honest. Let's just skip the tournaments from now on. That way I don't have to sit in traffic. And my friend, you know, he's pretty chill, but he has these siblings that were terrors, dude. They were loud and not very happy to be stuck in the car, man. They were a little bit older than us, but they started like throwing stuff and fighting. At one point, one of them got up, like stood in the middle of the minivan, took off all his clothes, and just started hitting his brother. I don't know why he needed to take off all of his clothes to hit his brother, because he had been hitting his brother for the past 30 minutes, but hey, he did, you know, and I'm not gonna question the man crazy enough to do that. So this traffic jam is very frustrating, and my friend's mom is getting increasingly pissed because the traffic like didn't move for an hour. We were literally sitting in the same spot. She has a bunch of kids like freaking out, screaming in the back of the car because, you know, I don't know, she needed to bring the whole squad. Like, bruh, something about soccer moms. They're like, okay, we're going to the game. Literally everyone has to go. So the kids are screaming. There's people taking their clothes off and fighting each other, which, by the way, is a great way to get out of a fight. If you never want to fight someone, here's a trick. Take off your clothes, because nobody is going to fight somebody crazy enough to take off all their clothes before they fight. Little known factoid for you there. So all these kids are like fighting. There's so much noise. Everyone's freaking out. And finally, traffic starts to move. And my friend's mom does an audible, like, like finally, like she is so excited. So traffic starts to move, and we can see that there's a cop probably about a mile ahead, like directing and saying, go stop, go stop, go stop. You know how it is. Like, I don't know. Is that something they teach you in cop school? Is like how to wave really well so that way cars know what you're talking about? I don't know. If it is, that would explain why cops are good at waving. So my friend's mom is hyped. So we're finally getting up to the point where cops are like letting cars onto the road to keep driving. And the cop says stop to my friend's mom, and she literally lets out like a ugh. So she is, you know, this soccer mom with all these kids freaking out in the back of her car. The cop just told her to stop, so she's sitting there, and we're sitting there for a while, probably another 20 minutes, and she rolls down a window and says, what's going on? And the cop's like, oh, we're closing the road again. And you know when somebody's just getting close to snapping? My friend's mom was usually not crazy. She usually was not a psychopath, all right? She was a little bit of a Karen, I'm not gonna lie, but she was like the type of Karen that wouldn't ask to see the manager because she knew it was annoying. Like a Karen that learned her lesson, you know, a Karen who had learned. But apparently that was enough to piss her off, which I mean, I feel bad for the cop because, like, you know, there's nothing he can do. The road's closed. What do you want him to do about it? But at the same time, I feel bad for my friend's mom because, like, I would not want to be stuck in a car with screaming kids for that long. That would drive me bonkers. So I understand why she snapped, but you just see her eyes dilate and you can just tell that she has snapped. And she gets out of the car and, like, gets up in the cop's face and he's like, ma'am, step back in the vehicle. And she's like, I've been stuck here for 3 hours. Do you have any idea what it's like to be in a minivan of 7 kids who won't behave for 3 hours? I finally get to the front of this line. You stop me, and then you're giving me dirty looks when my kids are making noises. Well, maybe if you were sitting in a car with them for 3 hours, they'd be making noises too. And is just going insane on the cop. And the cop at first was like, man, get back in the vehicle. But after a bit, I think he realizes that, like, this is just a stressed out lady that needs to get it out. All right. She really needs to, like, let it go. So she just is tearing into this cop. And you know what else? I hate the way that this town, and just starts ranting about stuff that's not even related to traffic. Like, at first she's going in about traffic, and the cop really was, like, the nicest guy ever, because once he realizes that this lady was just having a rough day and needed to get it out, he just kind of stood there and took it, you know? He was like, all right, lady, just you know, yell at me. So she starts yelling at this cop on the side of the road about traffic, and then she starts talking about how her kids just won't behave and nothing that she does makes them listen to her, and, you know, how it's so frustrating to, like, try to parent these kids because she's trying her best and they just never listen. Just, you know, mom stuff every mom can relate to. I'm not a soccer mom personally, and I don't think you are too, and it would be really weird if soccer moms watched my channel like, oh, you know me, Deborah. After The Bachelor, I sit back with a glass of wine, sip, and watch some Scrubs. The way he tells those stories sure is entertaining. Like, I highly doubt I have any soccer moms, but apparently it's relatable because after yelling and all that stuff, the officer looks at her, like, says something to her, but, you know, we're not really paying close attention. A, it's a long time ago. I'm 8, so I don't remember everything. That's why I don't have a ton of, like, direct quotes. B, you know, I was in a car on the freeway and she's yelling at him at the side of the freeway, so I can't hear everything. I heard her yelling because she was yelling and there was a window down. So whatever, the cop comes over, she gets in the car, like, shaking and crying, obviously shaken up and just stressed out of her mind, which being a parent is stressful, dude. Like, when people are like, oh man, dude, I can't wait to have a kid, bro. Like, that's scary. That's some scary stuff. Don't have kids fast because you're in charge of a person. You are in charge of people, and everything that those people do is your responsibility. Like, that's a lot of pressure. That's a lot. That's got to be hard, man. Especially when your kids just won't listen, because we all know that there's at least one kid in one of your classes that just, for whatever reason, does not have the brain capacity to behave. It is, like, almost impossible for him to behave. So, The cop opens the door to the back of the minivan, like, slides it open, and is like, which one of you are the troublemakers? And obviously, no kid says a word because there's a cop angrily, like, staring in the back of the car. So the mom's like, it's those two, and points at my friend's brothers. So the cop's like, you guys understand how stressed your mom is. She's trying her best to be a good mom, and you guys just need to behave, you know? If there's any more problems, if your mom contacts me and says that you guys didn't behave on the way to this soccer tournament, then, you know, it's like on you. Like, I basically just threatens these kids to arrest them, which, you know, at the time, like, I get what he's trying to do, but that's a pretty savage thing to do. You're an officer of the law, and some mom just screamed at you on the side of the road, and you go, you know what? I'm going to tell her kids I'm going to arrest them. That'll scare them. And I guess for some reason, like, they have this procedure that after an accident, the road has to be closed for blank, or, like, in between cars, they have to wait a certain period of time or whatever. But the cop waved her minivan through, so she goes, obviously. And, you know, with a car full of children convinced that they're going to be arrested to this soccer tournament. So we get there 3.5 hours late, nice and classy. We show up, and basically you have 4 games to get to the playoffs, right? And our team had won 1 and lost 2, but there was, like, a chance if we beat the team we played, we got to go on in the tournament, right? And we get out there, and my friend says, this one's for mom. And we kicked off the ball, and then we lost, and we were out of the tournament, and we went home. My parents were there, you know, they were kind of confused on where I was for 3 hours, but yeah, we went home, and that was it. So the soccer mom had to sit in traffic for 3.5 hours with a bunch of kids that were screaming and being all over the place, kids taking off their clothes, fighting each other, just absolute chaos. Got out, freaked out on a cop because, you know, life is just stressful when you're a parent. Got us to the tournament, and then watched us get destroyed. We didn't just lose the last game, ladies and gentlemen. It's soccer. We lost 17-2, and we got mercy ruled. We were obliterated. We never stood a chance. She did all that just to watch her kids get clapped. But you know, that's how it is sometimes. Me and my friend have bonded over the fact that you know, that we got destroyed together in soccer. That's not really why we're bonded together. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways, guys, moral of the story is sometimes doing things isn't worth it, and driving 3 hours for soccer games definitely is not. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to press the like button. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of the video. Be sure to check out the merch if you haven't already. Like I said, the Sorry Karen stuff I'm probably going to get rid of at the end of the month, get some new stuff out. So if you want the no joke, no scam stuff, or not the Sorry Karen stuff, the no joke, no scam stuff, go check it out. Yeah, so get it while it's hot. Today's notification shout out goes to Chunks the Chicken. If you want a notification shout out, just turn on those noti boaties and send me a screenshot of my Instagram at Scrubby. Today's like Twitter question thing, I'm just gonna have you guys answer in the comments because it's gonna be a long replies. All right, it says the time has come. Who's got the best fries, best burgers, and best chicken? Personally, best fries, I'm gonna go with McDonald's. Best burgers, I'm an In-N-Out guy. Best chicken is gonna be Cane's. And yeah, let me know what your guys' is in the comments. Also follow me on Twitter, please. Real talk, if anyone picks like Zaxby's on this, you're a psychopath. What's going on, guys? Flutie Bob Bigizak here. Hope you guys are having an absolutely fantastic day. I know I am. I might have the flu, but I get to make a YouTube video for you guys, so it's still going good. And if you are having a fantastic day, be sure to press the like button. Otherwise, no joke, no scam. Nothing bad will happen to you. It's just if you press the like button, honestly, YouTube promotes the video more and I get more views. So if you could, I would just appreciate it. Anyways, guys, today I have a story for you guys from my misspent youth where I was skating with the boys and had an angry white woman screaming at us and calling the police. You know, just a typical Tuesday in the life of my teenage self. It's gonna be an entertaining video that I'm sure you guys are gonna enjoy, and I have no doubt it'll be entertaining. But before we get into it, though, I just wanted to say thank you guys for the support. Yesterday on that Dreams video, when I uploaded it, I didn't really think it was gonna do very well, but I actually read every comment on the video, and you guys are awesome. I replied to a bunch too, and I just wanted to take a second to say thank you. I'm gonna be better about responding to comments and responding to DMs, or at least trying to be. I'm not gonna sit here and promise like I will literally respond to every comment and every DM, but I will try to be better because it's the least I could do to thank you guys for all your support. But on that sappy note, let me quit being a little hoe and get into getting yelled at by angry women, because we all know that's why you click the video. Alright, so everybody knows that I was a little bit of a skater boy growing up, alright? When I was younger, Avril Lavigne herself wrote a song all about me, the hit song Skater Boy. Yes, I was 7 and she was 23, but age is just a number, baby. We were in love. Real talk though, Avril Lavigne did not date me when I was a 7-year-old, contrary to popular belief. I know you guys have latched onto that rumor quite heavily, but I did skate quite a bit. And sometimes when you're skating, you just don't really feel like going to the skate park. You don't feel like going and finding a street spot to skate, so you'll just end up chilling at somebody's house, like in the driveway. And I had one friend that I skated with all the time that I still talk to pretty damn often. And this homeboy, you know, if he was a sandwich, he'd be a cheese sandwich, because his family had some cheddar, and they had this massive flat driveway that like basically stretched the entire length of the house. So me and all my friends that would skate would go over to his house and skate in that massive flat spot of the driveway after school if we didn't want to go to the skate park, or like on Saturdays if we didn't want to go to the skate park, we'd just go chill there. And over time, you know, we had built ramps, we had brought over rails, we had basically made a little skate park on the side of this kid's house on an incredibly long driveway. And obviously if you have a big driveway, you've got a pretty big house. So his neighbors were maybe like 700 feet away, their house. Like their land was right behind the wall, but their house was pretty far. But for whatever reason, alright, I feel like old people just have a radar built into their nasty, decrepit, wrinkly heads, dude. And it's just like, are people having fun? Are people having fun? No, I can't allow this near me. No fun allowed. Like, if I ever get to the point as an old man where I just start going around and shutting down people's fun because it breaks some stupid rule, I want you guys to put me down. I want you to. I'm not kidding. If I was like a 67-year-old man and I was retired and there was kids next door that were like skating, I would go over there and nail a kickflip because that's what's up. I'm gonna be a cool old man. But this dude's neighbors just apparently thought that we were going to devalue their property by skating, which I don't really get how that works. Like, yeah, you know, our house was worth $57 in a pack of Kool-Aid jammers. But then those dang kids started skating, and now it's barely worth a whopper. I don't understand how us skating on someone else's property on their driveway in a skate park that we built devalues your property at all. But okay, whatever. Anyways, we were just out there skating, and this kid's parents who own the house really liked it when we skated there because they knew that if we were outside, then you know, we weren't getting up to no good. Like, we couldn't drink at their house, we couldn't smoke at their house. So they always knew that, like, if we were there, then they knew we weren't doing it right then. So they kind of liked us there. And one day we're just all skating, doing our thing, and this grumpy old man walks up to us. He's probably not that old. He's old enough to be old, all right, but he's not old enough where he's kind of looking like Yoda on Dagobah before he disappears. Everybody who doesn't like Star Wars is like, what is that? He looked old, all right? He wasn't old enough to look like a roughy nutsack, but like, he was pretty old. And he walks up to us and he's like, what do you want? And we're like, I don't know, to skate? It's not very often that an old man just walks up to you, no context, and is like, well, what do you want? I don't know. So we're all kind of looking at him confused, like, what do you mean? What do you want? It's a very vague question, okay? I would love to be happy. I'd love to win some Jeff Bezos money, all right? But like, what do you want? What do you mean? What do I want? And he says, well, I know that you're taking over the neighborhood with your gang, so tell me what your gang wants to let our neighborhood go. Sir, I would like you to notice that we are a group of anorexically skinny white kids skateboarding. What do you mean our gang holding the neighborhood hostage, bro? Like, if you get held hostage by me, that's pathetic. That's pathetic, okay? Listen, I'm not trying to knock myself. I'm a confident guy, but like, I have the muscle definition of a wacky pack noodle bunch with spaghetti noodles in there, all right? Like, I basically have the body type of Gumby. I look like if enough wind came by on a strong day and I was wearing an open coat, I could take off. I could get enough lift to actually catch some air. I don't understand what you mean by holding the neighborhood hostage. If I'm holding you hostage and all my friends look like me, then your neighborhood's screwed, bro. It was never gonna make it in the first place. I mean, obviously, I don't have a gang, okay? Like, I feel like if I had a gang, it would just be really non-intimidating, you know? Like, we would call it a gang, but it would really be like book club, you know? Hey, guys, welcome back to the 8th annual Scrubby Gang meeting. Today, we read Percy Jackson, and basically, what do you guys think of the book? Like, I don't have a gang, so whatever. This old man is accusing me and my friends of somehow holding his neighborhood hostage as a gang. And so we're all kind of looking at him confused, and he's like, don't act dumb. We know that you guys came and infiltrated this neighborhood to get a ransom from the neighborhood. So tell us what your price is so you and your gang will go elsewhere. And we're like, what are you talking about? First of all, we're not a gang. Second of all, have you never interacted with anyone you think gangs go into nice neighborhoods and start a gang in a nice neighborhood to get ransom money from a bunch of old people that live? What do you think gangs do? What? Sorry that I missed the news bulletin where the news anchor was like, the Bloods have taken over the HOA and are not letting anyone go until Muriel agrees to bake more apple pies for the 4th of July block party. Like, that just doesn't happen. So we just ignore him. We just don't answer. We're like, nothing. We don't want anything. And he's like, well, then can you guys stop trashing up my neighborhood? And we're like, all right, dude, if you got a problem, you can go talk to his parents. We're on their property. We're skating. We're just doing our thing. And the kids whose house it is like, yeah, my parents are inside. You can talk to them, but I don't think we're breaking any rules. Like, we're not doing anything. And he's like, all right, I guess I'll go talk to your father if that's what you want. So old man goes over there, huffs and puffs over way to the front door, knocks on the door, goes inside, is talking to this kid's dad for 10 minutes and leaves later looking pissed. He's walking with that, like, you know that swag that soccer moms walk with and they're like, I'm about to go do something stupid. Like, I am going to ask for the manager. Like that confident spunk they're walking with. As he walks by, he like wags his finger at us. He's like, you boys are going to regret this. And we're like, all right, man, I'm sure we're going to regret it, Grandpa. Okay, go back to the Great Depression. You're bumming out the mood. We didn't say that to him. All right, I think we smiled and waved, but like in retrospect, dude, just like stop being grumpy. What's up with old people? I feel like they turn 65, they get Social Security, and part of it on the form they sign to get Social Security is like, you are now no longer allowed to enjoy fun. You have to literally stomp on children's spirits. And they're like, well, hey, I mean, Social Security's well worth it. Whatever, we just go back to skating and we think that's it. But sure enough, about 20 minutes later, 4 police squad cars pull up, sirens blaring, and like they hop out, they're like, get on the ground, and we're like, what is going on? So we get on the ground because when cops tell you to get on the ground, you get on the ground and you ask questions later, all right? Like, I've never understood. I've had a couple friends in instances where we've had to talk to police officers and like, man, I don't like cops. I'm like, yeah, that's cool that you don't like cops. Shut up. They're talking to us right now. They can hear you. You don't say loudly that you don't like the person that can arrest you, okay? That's not a statement, by the way. I'm not saying that you shouldn't like cops or you should like cops. I don't care. All I'm saying is when the cops are talking to you, you just get on the ground. When a cop says get on the ground, just get down. Like, just don't argue. Just get on. So obviously this commotion causes a ruckus, and the kid's mom, whose house we're at, comes out and she's like, what's going on? And I was just like, ma'am, stay back. Stay in the house. So whatever, for like 5 minutes, I'm on the ground sitting here, and I'm like, man, if this is how I go out, this is a really lame way to go. Some old dude called the cops on me for skateboarding, and like, this is their response, okay? And to be fair, it was honestly probably more for like 1 minute, but it felt like 5 minutes, because when you're laying on the ground with people yelling at you, time tends to go on. You don't really pay attention to the minutia. So whatever, after a bit, we finally get up, and the cops are like, where's the weapons? And we're like, wait, what are you talking about? Like, yeah, we got a call saying that there was a gang skateboarding in this neighborhood with weapons, and they were flashing it when this woman's husband went to go tell them to stop. And we're like, huh? And keep in mind, this kid's parents are pissed because the cops are at their house. Their little kids are freaking out. They have all these teenagers on the ground that for like, I thought we were going to get arrested. I didn't know what one of us did, but I was like, man, which one of you guys blew something up? Are you kidding me? Again? Anyways, apparently, the wife of the guy who had just come and yelled at us had called the cops and said that we were in a gang and that we had threatened her husband with weapons to make sure that he couldn't like shut down our little skate park, which is just not true. And even if it is, bro, I'm not scary. I'm just not. But either way, so we're standing out there and the parents are like, what? Are you kidding me? And the cops at this point are obviously like on our side because they realize now that we are definitely just a bunch of obnoxious kids with skateboards that are just trying to skate and do their thing. Like, we are definitely not out here trying to hold a neighborhood for ransom. So we're talking to the cops, they're talking to us. We go to school with their kids, like we know their kids. Obviously, they felt bad, but at the same time, they didn't know. Like, they just had a call that apparently somebody's, threatening people in a neighborhood. They just had to respond accordingly. Anyways, I guess the people that had called them were watching through their window, and when they see the cops is talking to us and not screaming and escorting us off, the lady comes out, and she is in full boomer attire, all right? She's got the shirt on that's like, I'm a grandma born in August. Mess with me and I'll decapitate your kidneys. Like, those shirts that people wear that are oddly specific, Oh, I'm a grandma born in August. My daughter has green eyes and my grandkids are 7 and 8. F off. Like, okay, all right, that's a weirdly specific shirt. She comes out wearing one of those shirts, screaming about how we need to get these miscreants off of her neighborhood's property and da-da-da-da-da, and the cops are like, lady, look, they're just kids. They're just skating. Not to mention, they're not really miscreants. Like, they're all from this neighborhood. They all go to school, like, 3 blocks away. It's really not like that. And she's like, well, if the police aren't going to do the job, then I'll just call them again next time they're skating. And they said, ma'am, ma'am, please calm down. She's screaming at the cops about how, no, because we're ruining her, retirement, as if I can ruin this lady's retirement. Imagine getting your retirement ruined by, a 17-year-old skateboarder, 15, 16, 17-year-old skateboarders. You're like, oh, I can never retire. Regardless, the cops are asking her to calm down, and she's like, no, I'm going to keep calling them again and again and again. So the cop looks at her, he's like, ma'am, calling the cops and saying that these kids are threatening people when they're obviously not is ridiculous and against the law, and we're going to mark down and basically say, I didn't know cops could do this. They can basically mark down and be like, if this lady calls about this house and says this, then it's just not real. It's a lower priority. They won't rush to check it out, and they probably won't even come check it out, which is sick. That's the police equivalent of yeah, whatever, Karen, I am the manager. Anyways, moral of the story is screw that old lady for calling the cops and saying that we were somehow threatening the neighborhood when we definitely were not. And to all you boomers out there, if any of you are watching this, just let kids have fun, bro. I guarantee you that people skateboarding in your neighborhood do not want to devalue your property. They are literally just trying to have a good time. If you guys could cop the merch, if you really love the channel, I would appreciate it. It helps out a lot. Now I'm gonna go back to the regularly scheduled outro. But on that note, guys, that's gonna do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to press the like button, turn on notifications. Today's notification shout out goes to Braden Keller 17. Big shout out out to you for having on notifications. If you want a notification shout out, just turn them on, and yeah, send me a screenshot to my Instagram at Scrubby or my Twitter at Scrubby_69. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot. I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are all having an absolutely fantastic day. I know I am, and if you are, be sure to press the like button. Otherwise, no joke, no scam. You'll be strapped to the top of a semi-truck and be forced to eat every bug that flies in your general direction. Trust me, it's pretty gross. I wouldn't want to do it, so press the like button. Hope you guys are having a good day. Like I said, my name is Scrubby, and as you can tell from the title and thumbnail, today I've got quite the tale for you, lads. So buckle your seatbelts and get ready for an entertaining, fun ride. Without further ado, let's get into it. Anyways, guys, as I've said a couple times in a different few videos, I used to skate a ton when I was like in middle school / early high school. Me and all my friends would basically like go around and just skate a bunch of spots as much as we could because it was a ton of fun. The only problem with street skating though is that like a lot of people don't really like you being there. Skaters don't have a very good reputation, and sometimes, you know, we kind of deserve it. I'm not gonna lie, not all of us are pretty chill, but most of us really aren't trying to cause trouble. We're just trying to skate. And there was this park near one of my friends' houses that had this really, really sweet, like, 4-stair that was perfect for skating. It was literally the perfect run-up, the perfect run-off. It was fantastic. And when I was in 8th grade, so like 13, 14 years old, we would go there relatively often, you know, like, actually, this experience that I'm going to tell the story about is why I kind of stopped going to parks and skating these types of spots. Like I said, though, there was this park with this perfect 4-stair, and we would go there and skate, and, you know, I was in middle school, so I was, like, super afraid of getting in trouble, so whenever we would go, I would make sure to be on my best behavior. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. I wasn't trying to cause problems because, you know, hey, I just didn't want to get in trouble, alright? Like, one thing that I don't really enjoy is getting yelled at personally. I'm not a giant fan of it, alright? But, every now and then you gotta do what you gotta do. So we were pretty respectful whenever we would be there, and for most of the time, parents wouldn't really bug us because we weren't, like, near the playground. The stairs were relatively close to the playground, but it was not that big of a deal, you know? Like, for the most part, parents would leave us alone because we would leave them alone. We weren't swearing around their kids. We were just chilling, just skating at the park, having ourselves a good time. And like I said, I would go with a group of friends that were also skating, and we had one friend in particular who was just nasty on a skateboard, alright? Like, this kid was incredible, and like I said, this 4-stair was pretty perfectly sized. It was a good place to learn tricks that you wanted to throw down stair sets, and he was better than all of us. Like, I got hyped one time because I heel flipped down it, and I was like, yeah, I'm pretty good, and, you know, this kid was working on, like, throwing a beautiful laser flip down it, no hesitation, just, like, absolutely gorgeous at skating everything he did. This kid was good, and one day we're sitting there, and he's like, hey, I think I want to 360 it, and we're like, alright, I mean, a 360 down a 4-stair is doable. It's not a ton of time to spin. You have to spin pretty quick, but like, hey, you could do it. Sure, go for it, bro. So he starts practicing it, and he's not landing it beautifully every time. The first couple times, he's like messing up and kind of jumping off the board, landing on his feet. For those of you that don't know what it looks like, you just kind of jump off. Like, it's not rocket science. And he's working on it for probably an hour or so. And finally, he's getting good at it. And he's starting to get to the point where, like, he's rolling away but slipping out at the last second, like his back wheel's spinning out. He's really close to landing it, though. And we're all starting to get hyped. We're like, yo, bro, you got this. Because that's what you do with your friends. When your friend's trying to do something and you hope they succeed, you're, like, encouraging, you know? Why would I look at my friend trying to do something and be like, yo, Derek, hope you die. LMAO, that would be funny. Anyways, he's getting close, but he goes for it again, and his board snaps. Like, the back tail part of the board snaps off. And obviously, he's pretty pissed because he was getting close and he was going for it for like an hour. So he does what people do when they're frustrated sometimes, and he screams a word, alright? And this word is a very bad word on this website, okay? Because for some reason, Susan Wojcicki decided that certain words are off limits if any YouTuber wants to get their video into recommended. But I'm gonna say, alright, he screamed the F word. Oh my gosh, it's really not that big of a deal. I know like 99% of you say it anyways, I just can't say it in videos. He screams the F word. And you know what? Was it slightly inappropriate because there was kids in the park? Sure. But he screams it and immediately just like picks up the broken board and we go to leave. But one of the moms from the playground decides that us leaving, no, see, that's not good enough, because what I see is a mom built like an NFL linebacker charging full speed over to the stairs, and we're all sitting there. Keep in mind, we can't escape very quickly because one of us now doesn't have a skateboard, alright? Like in most scenarios, you see an angry mom mom running at you, you just put your board down and start running, or like skating away as fast as humanly possible, right? But we're sitting here, and our friend, who also happens to have like sprained his ankle and can't run very fast because he's been throwing himself down a set of stairs for an hour. And much like soldiers, all right, no man left behind. I can't leave my friend back here to 1v1 an angry mom built like a linebacker, bro. I don't know where this woman was doing her yoga, okay? I don't know what was in her morning smoothie, but whatever was in it, I think Olympians need to do it, because this mom running at us was gigantic, okay? And I'm not even trying to make fun of her. She was like scary big. You know when you walk into a room and someone's so big, you're like, oh yeah, if they wanted to, they could probably eat every person in this room. I've been rereading the Percy Jackson books lately, and she reminded me of the Cyclops, how massive this woman is. So she's barreling towards us, and we're like, all right, this is how it ends. This is how we go down. It's gonna be okay, guys, you know? At least we go out together as one, brothers in arms, you know? So she runs over, she's like, which one of you screamed that word? It was probably less witchy than that, but, you know, little me has altered the memory in my head to make her sound a lot scarier. So she's like, which one of you said that? And none of us snitch because, you know, as Lil Skies once said, I ain't folding under pressure, I ain't switching for no hoe, I ain't talking to no cops, and I ain't telling all my bros. And you still live by that. I ain't snitching. So we all keep our mouths shut. And she's like, whatever. Well, I guess since all of you don't want to tell me who said it, then I guess I'll just do nothing else but call the police, and they can come figure out which one of you guys is a troublemaker. And we're like, oh no, don't call the police. Could you imagine? 911, what's your emergency? Yes, there are children here. They said a very naughty word, and I need the police immediately. Send the SWAT team, send the National Guard, send everyone. I don't even care. In fact, send Mace Windu. Call up Star Wars. Get him out here. I need everything. Anyways, we decide to start walking away and try to ignore her, but the problem is, when a lady is built like a linebacker, getting ignored is not something that they're used to, because they're like, are you guys ignoring me? And what happens next is legendary. So, not legendary, it's kind of scary. So, we're trying to walk away, and she's like, you know, you whatever, angry mom speak. And then she grabs our friend by the hoodie, the one who was trying to do the trick with the broken skateboard, and yanks him to the ground and is like, I bet it was you. You broke your skateboard. You think it's okay to swear when you get hurt? How dare you? Rah, rah, rah. Do you think that it's okay to swear around little kids? I bet you your mom would be so ashamed of you. How dare you decide that it's your right to say those words around kids? And is like pinning him to the ground, bro. We have a sumo wrestler mother pinning this kid to the ground, saying that it's not okay to swear around her kids because, you know, hey, it's not okay to swear around your kids, but apparently manhandling a child that's not yours around your kids, perfectly fine. What are they gonna do? What you gonna do about it? Like, what? I just don't understand her logic. You can't swear around kids, but I'm allowed to attack 8th graders because they said naughty words. That's some real logical thinking. So she's on top of our friend, and we all go over and start trying to push her off, but we can't get her off because she weighs as much as a black hole, dude. Like, I'm usually not one to make fun of people's, you know, weight, but this girl was built like Jabba the Hutt. There was no budging her. Anyways, after a bit, we finally get her off, but what ends up happening is one of my friends has to, like, swing his skateboard at her. He misses, but she's like, it starts getting up. She's like, you guys want to go? You guys want to go? We're like, no, we just want to leave. And she's like, oh, you think you're so tough because you can fight a woman with a skateboard? We're like, we just want to leave. So we try to walk away again, and she comes after us again and is like trying to grab our friend's hood and is like, no, you're waiting till the cops get here. And we're like, let us go. Let us go. We're trying to leave. We are trying to leave. We are like doing our best to get out of your way as much as humanly possible. Please just let us go. And of course, she's just not having it. She's like, oh, you kids are all the same. So disrespectful these days. Why is that every old person's response to any kid that, like, doesn't do exactly what they want them to? Like, any kid that thinks for themselves and doesn't just automatically listen to every adult's word 100% all the time, they're automatically like, you think you're so smart. Well, maybe I am smarter than you. You just attacked a child in a park. I'm just saying, your brain cells probably aren't very big. There, I said it. I wouldn't be surprised if late at night, dude, the lights go out and you go, oh, who turned the sun off? Because you're stupid. You're stupid if you attack children. It's really not rocket science. So, whatever. This lady's going ballistic, and we're trying to get away. And at this point, there's starting to be a crowd around us because it's not every day you see gargantuan Jabba the Hutt women trying to fight like a gang of kids, dude. It felt like, you ever seen a bunch of hyenas trying to eat a hippo, bro? Like,
That's how it felt. So, whatever. Everyone's like kind of watching. And finally, you know, I think she kind of snaps out of it. Like, maybe she's on steroids or something. Her anger stops and she kind of looks around and realizes that everybody is watching her latched onto an 8th grader, not letting him go as we are all screaming, "We're trying to leave." And she lets go, and that's enough. He breaks free, like, of her holding onto his hood, and we just bolt. He left his broken skateboard there, dude, trucks and all. He did not care. He's like, you know what? I'll just get a new one, because he was not going to spend any more time there. We take off running as fast as we can. This dude is running on, like, a rolled ankle. I don't know if it was sprained or rolled. His ankle hurts, and we just took off. So we get around the corner and we're like, oh my God, what was that? And we're just all sitting there and like breathing really heavy because we just escaped Jabba the Hutt's clutches, you know? And the kid who got attacked is like, why did she want to fight me so bad? Like, she kept challenging him to fight while she had him on the ground by the hood. She's like, why don't you get up and fight me like a man? He's like, I'm not a man. I'm 13. I'm a child. I don't know what you want me to do. I'm not fighting you like a man because I'm not. I don't like what it. 13-year-olds are not men, by the way. Before anyone in the comments was like, whoa, when you're 13, bro, like your puberty started. When I was 13, I was like 5'2" and chubby, all right? I was not in the shape to be fighting Jabba the Hutt linebacker women who thought that the F word was the naughtiest thing to ever be said. Yeah. Moral of the story is, sometimes women really do be crazy, and men do be too. That's really all there is to it. There's not really a good moral to this. Don't get attacked by crazy people at a park, I guess. And yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was an entertaining story. I survived. We all got matching t-shirts that says I survived a Wookiee attack, you know, after the fact, because we were just all so proud of ourselves. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully, you guys enjoy. If you did, be sure to press the like button. Turn on notifications, too. I give a notification shout-out every day to somebody who sends me proof of their notifications being on Instagram. So, today's notification shout-out goes to BrodyC42. Big shout-out to you for having on notifications, man. I've been responding to more DMs on Instagram, too, so you guys should go follow me on there. And, yeah, if you really enjoyed the channel and you, like, want to support it a ton, there is merch. You guys should check it out. Teespring link will be down below. It's pretty dope if I do get to say so myself. But on that note, don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, as always, make sure they're hot. My name is Scrubby. Hopefully, I'll see you guys next time with another video. I am getting over the flu, but the only downside is now I have an ear infection because my body hates me. So, yeah, wish me luck, and I'll see you guys next time. I am out. 3, 2, 1, peace.